Good to see everybody. Hope everybody's well tonight.
Oh, mine is too. Okay, here we go.
Yeah, we're good. We're good. It's just all this technology. We'll be all right. Yo, what's good? Hope everybody's okay, doing well. This is American show. We are happy to be here tonight. I know some of you may be looking right now. You might look and come on. You see it's only two of us, so that's because everybody else is
Right.
So, we're gonna go ahead and we just gonna move on. They'll catch up eventually. Let me see if we are live right now because it doesn't look like we are. And we are live. Okay, it says we are live. All right. Okay, cool. We are live, and then I think now they're popping in because here goes Avery over here.
Hey,
What's up, bro? What's up,
What's
Tracy?
up,
How you
man?
doing?
You all right?
good.
Yeah, I'm good. Are you?
Yeah, straight, bro. Straight. Just kind of getting everybody caught up. So, yo, you guys are on here now. Listen, you guys can officially go to the Good Samaritans page on Instagram. We are live on there now. And you can go there as well as you can go to YouTube and Mr. Kevin Jerome. We will have the official Good Samaritan page set up on YouTube shortly. By next week, it'll all be set up and ready to go finally. It took us a while, and that's what happens when you get a little older. You move slow and try to figure stuff out. But we're going to have everything set up today. Everybody doing all right?
Yeah, man. Doing pretty good.
Everybody's cool. Everybody's cool. Tracy, you doing well, as we said
I am.
earlier.
Yes.
So yeah, we got some good stuff happening. I want you guys to also at 8 o'clock on every morning, 5 days a week, we will have what's called the Man Book Podcast. And so I started that a long time ago, and then I just ended up stopping because I was trying to get this together, but I felt a certain urge that I need to go ahead and get that back up and running. So at 8 o'clock my time, 11 o'clock Eastern, 10 o'clock Central Time, we will have the Man Book Podcast. It'll be on for about maybe 30 minutes to an hour. That'll give us a little bit more time to get things set up and start that podcast as well. We'll have guests on there. We'll have stuff going on. We'll have everything going the way it needs to go. Pretty much going to have a good time.
Miss
Get everything
Tanya.
situated. And
Hi guys.
what's going
What's
on?
going on?
So
First of all, you did not remind me, babe.
I didn't remind you. What did I remind you?
Usually, if I'm 1 minute late, you'd be like, "Where you at?" You didn't even do that.
Oh no, I just decided. Well, y'all know we on here. Y'all come on when y'all get here.
Okay. You just decided. All right, we're gonna talk about it later.
Uh-oh.
Mind you, I still ain't got my remote. I mean, my microphone, Avery. I'm using a cone.
Uh-oh.
Just saying, I'm using a cone.
Oh,
But boy, baby, your microphone looks really nice, babe.
My microphone?
Ooh.
Yeah, you're supposed to give me a microphone, so I'm just saying this is what I'm using.
Oh, I didn't realize that I was supposed to give it. People with money always ask somebody else to give it. Like
First of all,
pastors do. Never mind. Sorry.
Uh-oh.
Y'all didn't hear what I said.
Did you go live already, or are we on?
No, we're live. I said, people with money always asking other people for money. Like pastors, right?
Shut up. First of all, I'm not a pastor or got money. Okay.
No, I'm talking about pastors that do though.
Oh, okay. Well, you're not talking about.
You're slow on that. You gotta be quick enough.
Avery, you did a picture today. I saw on Instagram or Facebook today.
Yeah.
And you look just like just mind you, apart from the eyes, because you have some shades on. You look just like music, Soul Child.
Yeah, I've heard that a lot.
yeah.
I've heard that, and I've heard what's the dude name?
J Moss.
No.
Well, I got you on that, Tracy. You right?
Yeah.
I get you on that.
Oh, what's the guy name? I forgot his name. He sings. Oh, Raheem Devon. That was it.
Now, I'm gonna be honest
Yeah, I
with
can
you.
kind
I
of
ain't
see
seen
that too.
Raheem in so long. Let me go back and look at Raheem because I ain't seen him in a
Well,
minute.
let's do this. Tommy, you're gonna have to
Uh-huh.
straighten up. Avery, you know this person. Tracy, you never met this person. But
Mama,
it's,
mama.
it's 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 about to be a little serious right now, so I'm gonna go ahead and bring
Will you
her.
leave? Okay, here you go, Divine Auntie.
Ooh, Auntie is on tonight.
Oh,
So all of this
Oh,
should go up
we've
now.
leveled up. We've leveled up.
Hello.
What is up, Auntie? How you doing?
Hey, Ray.
Look at you.
How's
All technical,
everybody?
all technical and stuff.
Yeah, well, I'm learning. I'm learning.
Uh-huh.
Oh, well, see, I don't know. What's up, brother Kevin Stanton? How you is?
I'm all
I
right.
love it.
How you doing?
And everyone else that I have not met.
how
Oh,
are you?
Mom, I'm sorry. This is Tracy Nichols. She's from Virginia. She's a bass
Yes,
player that I met probably over 20 years
How are you?
I'm
ago.
doing well, and you?
We had
Just fine for an old lady, but thank you, Jesus.
No, you're not an old lady. I've
You
seen all
definitely
your
not
pictures and
old.
heard you sing. Now you're not an old lady, not at all.
Oh,
Mm-mm.
thank
Mm-mm.
you. Thank you.
my
Well,
Not at
I
mom just
all.
did.
celebrated 70 years of life
Yeah.
August 8th, and then last
Wow.
Saturday we
Yes.
did a quick turnaround trip. We went to Jersey and celebrated with her and a few friends. And my sister, of course, who turned 40.
It was the best.
So everybody came out. Those who were supposed to be there were there.
It was
And
a it was a great time. It was a great time and a thankful time. Um, as this song, we used to joke about this song about millions not making it, but it's true. Holds true. Millions
That's
didn't make
good.
it, but I'm glad I'm one of the ones who did. And I
Mm-hmm.
ain't gonna be deep, but I'm just thankful. I
I know.
really am.
Yeah.
Really am.
yeah,
And Kevin, thank you. And Tanya, thank you for flying out to be with us. Um, some things only require
Your
those who are
presence.
really in your heart. And can y'all hear me? I'm sorry.
yeah,
Yeah,
we
we
Yeah.
can
can.
hear you.
Hmm.
We hear you.
Um, you know, it would not have been the same without you guys, and I'm so grateful that you were able to come and be with us. Some things will just be etched in your memory forever. Nothing like having your children, you know, with you for certain things that transpire in your life. And I'm still kind of on a cloud. Had to pull myself down for a minute to just say thank you to everybody. Yesterday, I think yesterday or Monday, but I'm still kind of up there, just thinking about the laughter and hugs and all. And it was really good, really really a great time. Excuse the laughter. Miss Lawson is in there laughing at people talking on the DNC stage of the convention.
Oh
Um,
Mm.
Lord,
so they are
that's
like they're carrying on us. Honest to
Well,
God.
Mr. Lawson is my favorite out of everybody. Let me start
Oh,
that. But
I'll
but
tell
the
him you
speaking was
said so.
amazing. I'm an only child, so I don't have any brothers or sisters, and so to see the camaraderie of Kevin and Stephanie and how they love on you and how you are so adored by not just them but everyone else. It was amazing to see. I had a little bit of a shed of a tear, a little bit like, let me just go ahead and let me catch that right here with this. But it was worth every single bit of the time that we were able to come down there. Not even hi
Look at this.
favorite.
Look at this. Look who
Hi
snuck in.
favorite. That's my favorite. He gave me the whole rundown in just a few minutes of all in that area, your history, his history, Dylan, not Dylan, but I'm thinking about my son. I'm sorry, Kevin's history and Stephanie's history. But it was good. It was good to go, and I'm just so glad you were loved on. And you know what? We planning for 75. We planning for 8. We planning for the rest. Okay, because it ain't
Listen.
done yet. Come on, Lord. Come on,
Bigger
Jesus.
and better. Absolutely.
Absolutely,
Absolutely. Absolutely. And
absolutely.
just grateful. Thank you, Tanya. Thank you, sweetheart. I enjoy you guys. When you come around, it's always a good time. It is
Always, yeah.
always
I
a good.
agree.
Well,
glad.
with all that being said, trying to make sure I have things right here. Okay. Yeah, we one of the topics that we were looking at. I think a lot of people. I know one person in particular was asking me about some of the DNC stuff that was going on. That's part of our program tonight. But with all that being said, I guess my question to everybody is: first off, let's just do it this way, so we can just kind of do it. I want to start with Hillary Clinton. And I want to know exactly what people thought about Tracy. You all right?
What is it that you want to know?
I want to know. I want to know what we all thought about Hillary's presence at the DNC this year. Like,
Mine's is gonna be short because I didn't even hear nothing she said. But everybody was talking about her bob, and I'm like, Bob, she's been wearing the same hair this whole time. I didn't understand the difference between the hair she had before and what she had now. But they thought her bob was fire. But that's all I know. I
It
didn't hear
was.
anything else.
okay.
She
All right.
looked.
So hold on, man. I'm gonna let Tracy talk because Tracy don't never really talk. We try to get Tracy to talk all the time. She don't never
I've
talk.
seen it. I watched sometimes.
So yeah. So let's get Tracy to talk. Tracy, what? I saw your eyes go up. What did you think?
She, Hillary is very interesting. Interesting to the point. It's almost like I'm sure they write for them what to say or have guidelines, but hers is almost inhuman. It's so distant from reality that it's just like, oh, okay, so how do you really feel? Is there anybody in there? You know, that's, I'm sorry. It's just,
What did she say? Help me.
I
Go ahead,
not
Tracy. Go
pretty
ahead.
much a lot of what everybody, not everybody else, but she said pretty much like Tracy said. Some things are scripted,
Mm-hmm.
um, and necessary. It's like necessary scripting, especially for something like this.
right.
A couple of digs at Trump. Really talking about what has already been done, as far as policies and that kind of thing are concerned. But I think her what did it for her was not necessarily her speech, but the fact that she ran against Trump and uh,
Lost.
and lost, yeah. But the fact that she did it, you know,
Mm.
that's her platform. That's where her ground is solid. Um, you haven't heard much out of her since, but people
Right.
still remember that she stood up to this man, um, who really, really is just crazy. Um, but she stood up to him. She fought, So, and then of course the introduction that she had, which I thought was phenomenal. Whoever created it, uh, did a glass ceiling breaking and shattering, which, in essence, they're saying, Hillary Clinton's bid for the presidency of the United States broke the glass ceiling for so many others. Now, of course,
Mm.
she was not the first one. Shirley Chisholm was. Um,
That part. You right.
but technology was not that, but wasn't even there then.
Yeah.
So the fact that she I remember I thought it was phenomenal when I saw it. I was like, oh my God, look at she's breaking the glass ceiling. And it looked as if a real glass ceiling was in the arena. And
Mm-hmm.
so she came in and she fought and she stood up to him. No matter what he said, no matter what he did, she stood her ground. So they remember her for that. They remembered her for that. And, they honored her for her strength and for her ability to stand up. I won't even say toe to toe with this man, but stand above him and, talk about policy, talk about conditions of the world, talk about rights and all of that. Because he is so self-serving, they, uh, I was sad when she lost, but then we have to look at our times. Um, were we ready for a female president then? Not quite.
Wait,
What?
so when she came, was that his second term that she went against him? I can't remember, or his first term against Trump.
She ran against Obama.
Oh, she did. She ran against Obama.
No, she tried to.
Yeah.
It was running based off of the democracy, the Democratic Party. She
Okay.
didn't necessarily run. She was just trying to get that spot.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. And
Yeah,
then
but they
Obama
debate.
got her.
They debated. They did debate.
Okay.
But I think she was that his first. Time has gone so swiftly, and so much has happened since then.
You
I
right.
think for the
I think it was the first one.
it was
Okay,
for
so it must have been the first time. Okay,
yeah,
okay. So we weren't ready for a woman person at the.
yeah,
I mean, a
because
woman person.
Biden licked him this after that.
Right.
So
That makes sense. That makes
um,
sense. Okay. Okay.
yeah.
Okay.
So the fact that it was not a spectacular speech,
Mm-hmm.
but because of what she did during her candidacy and the fight that she put up during that time, I think that's what really people remembered about her. Other than Monica Lewinsky, but hey, that's a whole nother story.
Yeah.
No, we won't go there.
I
No.
think one of
Not
the
today.
one of the biggest things about this whole thing, we going back to Hillary Clinton, but I think one of the biggest things about this DNC and what I like about it, if I could really say it, for decades we've been rooting for two men, right? Okay.
True.
And honestly, like the two men they've always taken pot shots. I've always thought the two white presidents going at each other are like lawyers in a courtroom. They look like they're going at each other, but when the court is over, they go outside and go have dinner or they meet on the golf course. They do that kind of stuff. And I always felt like that was what was going on, before we had Barack Obama. Like I said, Bill Clinton was the blackest president we ever had before Barack got in there. And then when Barack got in there, to serve 2 terms, history was upside down after that. And now a female, if it was a white lady, I think there would be a little bit of difference. There's some men who feel like women in any color, white and beyond, should never be president, should never have anything to say other than honey dinner tray. You know what I'm saying? Like they should never have anything to say. But I think we would have still saw some kind of scrutiny when Hillary was in it. But for Kamala to be there, and I saw a young lady on TikTok today. She was like, "I'm voting for Trump because Kamala, it's just the way she be laughing and that sinister laugh and all this other stuff." And I said, here we go again. With black people, we will find something wrong with everything. I mean, it could be perfect, it could be upright, it could be flawless, and we still gonna be like, "Oh, but look how long it took them to make it." Like we're gonna find something to argue about. And
Absolutely.
the reality of it is that here we are, a woman. I could take this glass and put water in it. If I put a douse of ink in it, that water's not pure anymore. So my point is, Kamala black. I don't care what nobody says she's black.
For real.
It freaks him out. It freaks Donald Trump out when anybody outside of, and maybe I could be wrong, I don't know, but this is how I feel. It is really, really, particularly black, smart, no, not just smart, intelligent.
Say it now.
Black people come around. The first thing that came out of his mouth about her was that she was dumb. Well, you can't be dumb. You can't even be dumb and be a mayor. Now you may do some dumb things.
Right.
But this woman was a district attorney. How can you be
And a vice president? Yeah.
And before that, she was a district attorney, a senator. How can you be dumb and be those things? He was never a senator.
Right.
Never a district attorney. He never went
He
to
came off the set to be
has no military background. Like Lady Crockett said last night, Kamala Harris has a resume. He has a rap sheet.
Yeah.
Right. That's good.
Who are you calling dumb? But
some would suggest, well, dumb people don't get caught and don't get, convicted if they're smart. You got convicted 34, 37 times. So,
yeah, you're a criminal. So what's dumb?
And we talked about this last week. We still don't understand how a man who has been convicted of over 35 counts of treason can sit up there and still say, "But I want to be president," and be considered. Like
and
that's
they
like
let us do it. That's crazy.
Isn't that crazy?
I feel like I go with what Mom just said. Like, I feel like when Hillary was coming in the fold, we weren't ready for it, right? And so we had Obama 2 terms, great, and then of course we know after 2 terms he has no chance to go again. He's not a he's not
He's not able
a
to go
he's not
again.
a Trump who wants to try to do it and do this whole democracy thing he's trying to do. Anyway, so then when we tried it with Trump, or we had it with Trump because we had no other choice at this point, when people who voted, it was more people who voted for him. That's what they say. It didn't really work out for us, right? For some people, they feel like it did. I'm not condemning them. That's what they feel like they wanted to vote for. But now they're like, things need to change. And I think, and man, I could be wrong. Forgive me for what I'm getting ready to say. Hey, Scott, Dr. Scott.
You
Hey
know it's gonna be
y'all,
something. When
forgive me for
people
being
start
late.
off,
I'm stuck in traffic.
with "forgive me" for what
I
I'm gonna
know.
say, you know it's gonna be
You don't have to call
it's
me
gonna be
out.
rich. It is going to be
But
rich.
I
Oh
feel
boy.
like what's helping us in this manner is that she is mixed with black with a white husband. And so it's not so black.
In your face. Yeah, it's not so in
Yeah,
your
yeah. It's not so in your face black. It's
Right.
like this is, and then
Like
today
the Obamas. They were in his face. Right.
exactly. Now I
Yeah.
watched today a video of Kamala, because I'm saying her name wrong. Kamala's husband's son, I'm sorry,
Yeah.
who did a video of, and I was like, almost near cheer. This is a white boy talking about his white daddy, and I'm not racist or anything, but I was going, oh my god, this is such a beautiful video because he talked about our family may not look like the way your family looks, but we're
Right.
still family. Like
Right.
that is still he calls him Mamala,
Mamala.
something like
Right.
yeah. And I was like, oh my god, that was such a touching video. It
And
was so
well,
great.
even that is now. You would think. Here we go. You would think that he would be. You would think Trump would be okay with that because his wife is of another different culture, and so was
Let's
his
be
mother.
clear.
Yeah,
Correct.
So why you have an issue? Why? Because you're a
Well, here's the
racist.
problem. You said you would think. You cannot put the word think and 45 in the same sentence.
Yeah.
No,
Well,
you're right.
he can't think, but
You're
I'm
right.
I'm saying us as you know.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
no, him.
Normal. The people who
Yeah.
have to vote. Hmm.
So why are you upset that there's a mixed culture here? Your parents were your mother was from somewhere else. She wasn't.
Yeah.
She wasn't. Was she a U.S. citizen? No, I don't know if she ever got citizenship. I'm not sure.
Mm.
But you
We over
married
here
from
wondering
an
what's going on with
entirely
Obama.
different
What about
culture.
your wife?
So
Yeah.
I don't know because if you marry, you had your youngest son with a woman that is not from this country. So this mixed race thing, it's right in your own household. So
I
hush,
agree. I
please.
agree. I
But
agree.
I never understood.
yeah,
But I'm
but
but I'm thankful for the shift, right? I'm thankful for the fact that we didn't do it for Hillary at that time. I mean, it would have been, well, I don't know. I don't know. I did vote for her, but I didn't know. But I'm thankful for this shift because it shows that it doesn't matter whether Michael Jackson says whether you're black or white. But can you do
in
the
this
job,
instance,
right?
yeah, it does. Unfortunately,
Well, yeah.
yeah.
But can you do the job? You know what I mean? And so and I think and I hope that Kamala's ears are open enough to not make her own decision, but also listen to the people and to make the decision based on the people and not just her own decision. You know what I mean? Versus Trump, who just makes his own decision, doesn't care about the people. You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
Yeah.
So
Well, we all know that.
yeah,
We all
yeah,
even Stevie Wonder's on stage tonight. He can see that.
he can see
But
that.
it's because of his past and even more present narcissistic behavior
Yeah.
and the bigotry and the prejudice that he's so blatantly displayed. No, not too many people are wondering about him. They know.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah.
Nobody's really, and even some in his own party are about sick of him right now.
Yeah. I
There
saw
was
that.
one guy that just left, Duncan. Somebody was on screen just before I came on. I'm a Republican. However, I was like, oh, okay, and he let him have
Mm-hmm.
it.
Oh
Yeah.
wow.
So even his own party is about sick of him right about now, and people are tired of. They're tired of the rhetoric. They're tired of the no policy. They're saying that Kamala really has not spoken very strongly on what her policies are. Yeah, she has, because her past speaks for her. But it's protocol and all that good stuff, and it's correct that you
Yeah.
should, present your policies to the public, to the
Right.
American people. But he has not. What are you doing? We're going to close the border. We're going to, the bill that you killed, that everybody said tonight, would have better protection for the border if you hadn't been so selfish. You shut it down.
Exactly.
And that meant when you shut it down, you had less security for the border.
Right.
So you killed the bill. Now what? You want to throw paper towels over the fence at the folks like he did in the room that day? Come on.
Right.
And some of those people work. Some of those immigrants work for him.
Exactly, and they're done. They're really done. Now let's flip the script a little bit. We are in these end times, like the Bible has said.
You right.
And I
That
said
part.
last time when they voted for him and they got him into the White House, it's almost like the scripture when the people wanted a king.
Yes.
Yep.
We
You're
want
right.
a king. And then they got that lunatic. Who was it, Saul? Or
Mm-hmm.
Harry? Who was it, Saul? And I'm
Oh,
like,
well, Harold too. Harold too.
here we
Yep.
go again.
Yeah.
History often and always repeats itself.
Repeats
Y'all want
itself.
a king?
Yeah.
All right,
That's
I'll give you
good.
what you're asking for. I'm gonna give
Yeah.
you a king, and he gonna kill y'all.
I
So
think now,
That's so good.
and we can move to the next point. But I think what's going on now is that a lot of people are starting to see that they made a mistake
Hmm.
because at this point, you know what people need to understand is Donald Trump don't give 2 cents about you, your family, nobody else.
Oh.
He doesn't want to make America great again. He wants to be great in America. And then, with that being said, with this whole thing about, well, if I win the presidency, I'm going to stay president until I die. We're no longer going to vote. We're no longer going, I want to be, modern day, not saying the words, I want to be the modern day Hitler. I want to be Saddam Hussein. I want to be, Osama bin Laden. I want people to worship me. I want people, So we know he's not the Antichrist because none of us can stand him. So
Yeah.
you understand that. And that's cool.
no, and as a matter of fact, the
But I think
Antichrist is gonna be very, very intelligent. He's
Well, and
Exactly.
that's the part where back in 2008, I was like, oh, sweat. Barack Obama got sense. He black. Everybody love him. Lord, I'll
no.
take that.
I thought the same thing. I'm not gonna lie. I'm not gonna lie. Oh my
Yeah,
goodness.
but I think now what we need to understand and recognize is that we particularly have to be very careful. I know for a fact that um, Donald Trump is promoting and pretty much solidifying different avenues of authority to initiate civil war. I just spoke about this a couple of days ago,
Mhm.
and you know, what what people have to understand is that the Civil War happened at a time when still black people were considered slaves. At this
Yeah.
time, they were
Yeah.
still
True. True.
considered.
True.
Well, I got to tell people this now: black folk ain't slaves no more. Now, as far as what we believe in our minds, you'll have
Wait, well, not
Muslims
today.
out here saying, but you're a slave to your mind. Well, I tell you what, I don't care what kind of slave I am in my mind. If I'm outside and I see 2 white people jumping a black man, I ain't a slave. I ain't got to back up and sing Cuba and we shall overcome and hold hands with us black people. I'm not the crap out of you. And I think one of the biggest things about that now is that they have to understand that black people are no longer in a position to abide by the slave rules. We are not abiding by the slave rules. We're not
Mm-mm.
going to sit up here and allow you to do this and then go to our kids and say, stay in the house. Don't come outside. Daddy gonna be back. Daddy gonna, we're not coming back. More than likely we coming back and we're gonna probably bring your head with us because at this point, if you conduct a civil war, here's the thing. Now the civil war includes Mexicans. Now it includes Asians.
Correct.
Now it
That's
includes you. Now it was black and white before. It ain't black and white no more. It's
cool.
black, white, and everything else. Everybody coming. If it's a party, we all join in. So um, I really believe in my heart that a lot of these people need to be very conscious of the fact that this is something that could spark, even though you consider it a civil war, it could be a war that ain't civil.
That's right.
It
For
could go
sure.
totally opposite. Yeah, it's you sit up here fighting Leroy and Bruce and all them coming behind you and Peter Rodriguez, Ling Wong coming, and I mean it's a gang of them, so you just got to
Right.
be careful. I think one of the biggest things now is for everybody to really pay attention to the fact, as was stated earlier, that we're living in these times now when it's every man for himself. It ain't even about race no more. They're trying to make it that way, but I remember Tanya and I were out a long time ago. I don't know why she asked me to do this, but we went to a spot in LA, and we went to a taco truck right across the street from the spot, and we were ordering our food, and there was this guy. He looked like he was homeless, but it was one guy and another guy arguing, and it looked like the dude was picking on the homeless guy. And so I was looking at Tony and Kevin going up the line. I'm like, you know what time of day it is? I don't know if they got AIDS, if they got a gun. I don't know if they got that ain't my business. But eventually I went over there because I don't like bullies. So I went over and got with the guy. I was good, like really digging to him. And I believe Tony, I think the cop showed up. Something happened where it kind of simmered down.
Yeah.
But it just let me know that there's still people out here who are very, very one-sided when it comes to humanity, period. Like,
Yeah.
if we see a homeless person, yeah, they fell on hard times, we get it. But what brought them there? What happened? Obviously, something like that.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? But yeah, I'm hearing feedback too. I don't know if somebody's
Yeah,
somebody's phone.
somebody's
Somebody's phone is either too loud or
Yeah,
you got speakers that are playing back
yeah,
into your phone.
yeah. It's
Yeah.
one of them.
Just
So
mute.
Is it mine? How
you
everybody?
can mute.
Wait, see
You
if
can
it's
mute your
me.
microphone. Just mute
Is
your
it James
microphone.
laughing?
No, that was Clinton just said something.
Oh,
He
but put your phone on mute, or the microphone on mute. Let's see.
Yeah, when you're ready to talk,
It's the
you
government.
Right.
said,
They
what?
listening.
they don't like what we
They
They
saying.
listening.
tapping our
They
phones.
listening. They listening.
Right?
They
Y'all
listening.
hear it now?
No. Mm-mm. I don't know what
We
that
don't
was.
hear it now, but I think it was your phone because now I don't hear you muted the phone, so it's probably yours. Okay, so we don't mute phone. But I think that's one of the things is we have to really understand that it's a different time. So
It is.
I mean, this is what it is. Sister Michelle Obama was letting everybody have it too. I kind of watched hers a little bit, and you can't give no black woman no mic, and she right. You
Yes, you
just
can.
can't.
But she
Yes,
handled
you
it with
can.
class, man.
Let
Well,
me
she's
tell you.
always been classy. I mean, you don't expect nothing else. And the majority of the people that are coming into the DNC that have words that are giving their, particular opinion on what's going on and how the race is being run, everybody got class. Donald Trump is the only one that don't have no class. He's the
He
only
shows
one.
his beep. Yeah.
Man, let me tell you something. Them Obamas, they special.
Aren't
They're
they?
special.
Yes, they are.
They'll
Yes,
make you
they
want to
are.
go and vote.
Yeah,
Yeah.
right.
Listen,
Vote for them. Just
They
put them
are the
back on the
epitome
ballot. They're not
of
even on
They're
the
not
poise,
even
ballot.
on the ballot.
for sure.
they
But they're the
phenomenal.
epitome of poise, grace.
Right. And their entire 2 terms, no scandals,
Nope.
no nothing,
Well, he had his
no,
wife with him the whole time. See, that's what
you
makes it
know.
different.
Well,
He had his wife with him the whole
she was with him even when she wasn't with him. You know,
Right.
Listen, but
they
not only his wife, but he had his mother-in-law too.
right.
Yeah.
You
May
know,
she rest in
but
peace.
these are
Yeah.
people, and he was used to that kind of thing. The man was out there, a lot, even as a senator and count whatever he did before his presidency. Um, but that to Trump, that was like culture shock. There is
Yeah,
an
because he doesn't
intelligent
have that.
black man who knows how to talk, and his wife is
Right.
a lawyer. Oh my God.
I'm just trying to understand what is his obsession with the Obamas. That don't make sense to me.
Listen, I often say,
A
this is
white
not
Because
about
it
man
ain't,
myself, but
dealing with
what,
black people.
because
ain't them.
he said it's not that they don't like you, they want to be like you.
That is
He
That's
very
wish
true.
true.
he
And
wish
or
he
don't
was
understand why you're so great.
he wish he could have the intelligence, the love, the money, even though he has more. That man is so miserable he doesn't know what to do with himself.
I
But
I,
agree
he
1000%.
had he wish he had the charisma and the people loving him the way people love Obama. He really wishes he had that.
Well, it was just that, and I was
and
going
he
to say,
doesn't.
his family don't like him.
No,
You know, his
children.
their
Nobody
his
like
There's
children.
like
No,
a
nobody
son. There's
likes
like
him.
one son. Yeah, yeah.
And so
His wife can't
because,
stand him.
right.
At all.
but the one thing that I noticed when it all came to a head was, and you just said, he's mad because he wants to be like them. The reality of it is, let's be very clear. There's not any president that could look at Obama and sneeze at his record at all. Like white
No.
president, that none of y'all can look and think anything less. And I'm gonna say, black people, you can't think nothing less of us now because we came inside the White House, we came inside the Capitol, and did what your white presidents couldn't do.
All right.
And we turned around and served 2 terms, and now looks like, from what I see and I'm gathering, looks like we
You get
are
ready to do it
basically going to
again.
be at a point where we get ready to put another black person, and then now it's a female. Now you ain't dealing with no man. You're dealing with a hot-headed female that got some information, education, some intelligence. And I said it last week. Just because you're educated doesn't mean you're smart.
Right.
But she's educated, she's smart, and she's waiting on you. Like
She's
she
ready.
Like, I think
wants
she
you to.
Yeah.
She
Yeah,
wants
that's
you
right.
to show up. She
Like she
wants you to
said,
show up.
you
She
got
wants you to
something to
do it.
say it to my
my
face.
Yeah.
face.
That's
When
right.
she said that, I literally said, "All right,
Uh-oh.
this get ready to be a problem."
Yep.
Because now it's like she done
It's
put
getting
that
ready
in
to
there.
get real now. It's getting ready to get real.
So
But we can't, like with Obama, we can't rest on the laurels of the hope that we have because she's black.
That's good.
That's
You know,
right.
she is
You're
for
right.
everybody. She really is. She is for this
That's good.
country.
Mhm.
And I think with Obama being not just running for, but ended up being the first African American president. The mentality at first was, "Oh, he's for us."
Hmm.
Big mistake,
That's right.
because
That's
when
right.
certain things did not get done, they felt like he failed us.
Sure.
But he has to
That
be
is
for
so.
everybody, and
But
that's what
he
we want.
Exactly.
said in the beginning, the man was smart enough to tell him. He said, "I may not get this done." He said, "This won't get done in 4 years." He said
That's
it.
right. He did.
And
He
he also
absolutely.
said that it may not even get done in 8 years. He said it.
Yes, he did.
And
well,
because,
first
oh,
of all,
he's
they
black.
handed him a bowl full
Oh
of
God,
mess. I
please,
mean,
Yeah,
big
let's
he
just
mistake.
did.
They did. They did.
let's be clear. They handed him a bowl full of Reaganomics. They handed him Bush mess.
Bushes.
They both of them. They
Mm,
handed him, where Clinton was trying to clean up, people were still throwing mud over it. So by the time, it's literally like he got this bowl, and they was like, "Okay, yeah, fix all this up."
big
And
fella.
Yeah,
in
yeah.
order to find out what was
And
wrong,
digest it.
just digging through everything that was in there, by the
Hmm.
time he found
That's
what it
4 years.
was, his 2 terms was up.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
By the
But
time
at
by the
least he was.
time he got to, he was like, "Oh, there it is." Hey man, they
Yeah.
already had
No,
next
that wasn't it. But at
vote. Yeah,
least he was smart. He was intelligent enough and and real enough and in tune enough to let the country know this ain't gonna happen overnight. But
they
because we
knew
thought
that
he was a
though.
great,
They
because
knew
black
that.
people really thought he's the great
They knew
black
that.
hope. Oh my God. Oh my God. He never presented himself that way, first of all.
Right.
Mm,
That's so true.
Yeah,
And
he
then
was.
but we
What's
got
going on with y'all?
that's
Oh,
right.
okay.
and said, huh?
Scott's coming back in.
He's
Oh,
home.
Talking off in the back.
Yeah, I'm home finally.
He in the house.
and my cousin.
But we got hold of the great black hope. He's gonna bring us out. We're gonna get all the jobs, and we're going to no,
He never
no.
said that. And the truth
Right.
is, in order to give you jobs, we first got to save the company.
Right,
Yeah,
So the company is in trouble right now. So if the
yeah.
company is in trouble,
right.
I might not be able to get you the
Everybody in
jobs
trouble.
now, but hopefully the next person that comes along can open the door. Now I have to say this though, and I don't want to, but being
Don't
real
say it.
means you gotta be honest. But when Donald Trump was in office, now I gotta say,
Oh Lord.
gas went down a little bit. The economy was a little bit better. Let's be real now. I don't like the guy. I ain't standing.
It was a ploy,
somebody
though.
really has to.
It was what?
Phone down. Mom, you gotta mute your phone.
Well,
Is it you?
No,
go ahead, mute your phone.
I was getting ready to say gas is down now.
Well, it's going down, but you know what they do in the summertime, and they do this all the time.
Yep.
They go over here, they start messing with numbers and stuff when it's time to vote. That's what they start doing. As soon as they start voting,
so true.
Yeah, it's my mom's phone. As soon as they start voting and we get ready to go to this joint, they'll either if they see that
No, we're not.
No.
When you're muted, we don't hear it anymore.
We don't hear it when
your volume is probably turned up too loud on your phone.
Yeah.
Use your AirPods.
It's muted. It's muted. She's muted now.
Yeah, she's
right. But I think if she used her earbuds, it's the phone that's actually picking up.
Yeah. It's okay. It's all right. You're all right, Mom. Just mute it.
I don't know where they are.
Okay. Just mute it when you're not talking. But the reality of it is that now when you get down to looking at the numbers do not lie. And where we live at in Las Vegas, it is expensive. But if you go down that hill, you go 15 south and you go to California, it's never gone down. There's one time I remember we were living up here probably like the first year. One of my friends was at a gas station in Beverly Hills, and the gas was $9.23. It was $9, and this thing, it wasn't a lie because he went to the register and told the cat, "Hey man, your marquee broke out here." He was like, "What's wrong?" He said, "It say 923." He was like, "Man, it hurt me to put that up there, but that's what it is." And I kept saying, I said, "You're lying, right? It ain't no 923." Kept saying, and I know how people when they call my whole name, they're serious. He said, "Kevin Stanford, yeah, I'm getting out of here." But he went further down the street past Rosecrans off the 10. He went down a little bit further where he would be like in the city, and it went down, but it was down to like $5.90. It's $6.
Wow.
You know, but you go to Jersey and people like, "Oh man, it's $3 or something. It's $2." Hey man, where we at?
$3
Super over here
is
is
for you.
Yeah, they pumping it for you. But out here, it's $4.90 for super. You know, it's $4.09 for regular. I kid you not.
They pump it for you?
They don't. They do in Jersey. They do. They got full service in Jersey.
Ain't that something they charge you all that? You still got to pump your own gas out there.
That part, like if you get out to pump your gas in Jersey, you're doing something illegal. So they do it for you, and it's still cheaper, Tracy. Okay, they do it for you. Like it's not a bum. I'm sorry to say that, but it's not a bum.
Truth be told, our gas would have been cheaper had it not been for Governor Fat Boy. He added a gas tax that took our gas prices up another 44 cents.
Are you talking about Christie? Are you talking about
Christie? Because of him, our gas prices went up. Yeah. So right now, if we didn't have that gas tax, we'd be paying about $2.50 a gallon.
I would take your gas right now with the gas tax.
Yeah, with y'all's problems and with everything that's going on, I need to tell you that you guys are still blessed. We're cursed.
And mind you, we're doing gas. We're doing hacks. Like when we go to Vons or Smith's, which is our grocery stores, we get like a gas break for going to the store. Like. If I have
Costco is what we really do, though. We do Costco.
Yeah, if I don't go to that store, I don't get that hack. So like, I'm still getting more. I'm still paying more, pumping it myself. It's disgusting.
I'm putting it out there, by the way, and I got this from a guy that actually is a truck driver, that delivers gas. Costco gas is the best gas to get. The second best is BP. But Costco gas, he said all of the gases are the same until they drop the detergents in. But he said Costco gas is the best one. So if I don't put BP in my car, because that's all I use, I don't use BP, which is Amoco. If I don't use them, I use Costco. And the gas from Costco, for whatever reason, it lasts longer.
All the time, but they got a time limit. They close at a certain time. It's pretty early. The day is still the problem. It's still the sun outside. But after the day, if I can't get to it,
Mom, mute your phone.
I
Mute your
gotta
phone, Mom.
find something else. You know what I mean? But you're right. I agree. I don't know about BP. I mean, I know about BP because I work in financial, so I get what BP is. But I've never seen BP myself.
BP gas is more so like yeah. I know the South has them everywhere.
Yeah.
BP is like the thing to get.
A lot of my clients do use BP.
At the end of the day, the bottom line is we can all talk about it, but like you said, Scott, with Governor Christie messing things up, and then between the presidents and all this other stuff, it is what it is. But let me be clear about something. People are gonna be watching this later, but the reality of all of this is that all of us on this line, people that are gonna be watching now, people that are watching later, the bottom line is this: the presidential game has never, ever, ever just been about the president. Because let's be clear, the president is the face. The president is the one that actually goes around and shakes hands with people or whatever. But if the president is not agreed upon by Congress, the truth is it's never going to be what we think it should be. It's like this, right? Let's go back to this. The wars that we've been having, the real reality is there's a lot of wars that have taken place that were not our business.
That's right.
Had nothing to do with us. We killed innocent people for the sake of keeping, because again, here we go. The bottom line is, in politics, war brings billions of dollars to somebody. Somebody gets paid a lot of money for war. That's why if you look, it's like, okay, we're gonna have a war right here, right? Okay, cool. We're gonna this many people gonna die, blah 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 blah. You gonna get $1 billion, you gonna get $1 billion, and then we just gonna lay low for 10 years. And right about when you get to about $100 million and start another fight with these people over here. Let's be clear. If you look at what's going on right now, think about this. We were looking at ISIS, right? We were sitting up there talking about, the Islamic State, and they chopping heads off, putting it on Facebook and going around threatening people's, mail and doing whatever, all that stuff, right? So you sit up there and look at that. Well, y'all know Russia don't like us. Korea's sitting up here looking at us like y'all say one more word, we send a You turn around and you know what? The country that really, really makes me laugh, because they'd be like, y'all stupid, is Canada. Canada don't say nothing to nobody.
No.
They'd be like, you know what?
I was moving to Canada. I'm moving to Canada.
Listen, Canada don't say nothing to nobody. Canada is literally sitting there like, they got popcorn and a Coke in a movie theater recliner seat, and they watching all this stuff go down. Because
I have two other husbands besides James, Denzel Washington and Justin Trudeau.
I was like, what?
Yeah, it's very clear that when you're looking at all these other countries, if we sit up here and we really focus on Afghanistan, we can get hit by Korea, we can get hit by Russia, we can get hit by we can get hit by so many people because we minded their business.
That's right.
That's true.
Mute your phone, Mom. You mute your phone. We minded their business
yesterday, Kevin.
Yeah, we minding the business. We are literally going back and forth.
And we can't hear. It's not my phone.
It's not. No. It's your phone. It's okay that it's your phone. It's okay. It's just the feedback. So it's okay. Just mute it when you're not on. That's it. But when you actually get to a point where you look at how crazy these things are, I've often said, if y'all gonna sit up here and have a whole bunch of stuff going on, send these people that are in prison. They ain't going nowhere anyway. Send them over there. Why y'all sending all of these innocent people and these people who sitting up here trying to make lives for themselves? Set them up if something happens in the United States. They're not going to see us doing that. But if you going across the water, why are you sending innocent people? Take those lifers out of there. Take them guys that ain't got no regard for life and drop them off in the middle of the mountains over there in Afghanistan. Let them do it.
I've said, if they're going to do life in prison, let them do it over there.
Yeah, and then that way, if they win, if they turn around and they win and they get sent back home, let them out. That's all. Just let them out.
When I tell you, if I was a lifer, I'll be booking. Okay, forget that. I'm out. I might get shot, but I'm out.
But they would let you go because my thing is they already kill us anyway. So why y'all sending people you got to train to do it? These are people that already know how to do it. Put a helmet on them,
And let them go.
a bulletproof vest, put them in army fatigue,
Right, they ain't
give
got
them
nothing
an
to
assault
lose.
rifle.
Right.
Not a thing.
To lose.
Not a thing. Send them over there. And then that way, when you send them over there and they go and do, you still got all these people. You know how many innocent men and women have been lost in these non-productive nonsense battles that they produced in this country? You know, and you was sitting up here looking at the fact that, you know, they're fighting for our country. No, fool, they fighting because you minding somebody else's business. They ain't fighting for our country. And in reality, the reason why Osama bin Laden and George Bush had that big thing going on, over 5,000 people lost their lives because y'all couldn't agree on something. So all these people lost their lives. Everybody sat up there and died between the World Trade Center, and then we turned around, and when Obama was in office, he sent some of our best boys over there. We shot bin Laden up like he was a paper bag or you know, a firing range or something. You know, and so many innocent people died because of that. But the truth is, we was minding Afghanistan's business.
It was
That's exactly what happened.
Yeah,
Yeah,
we
it was
starting wars. They ain't got nothing to do with us,
bruh. He bin Laden's brother and George Bush Jr. had an electrical company together. They turned around and Bush took all the money out of the company. Bin Laden's brother went to find out what was going on. In the midst of traveling to America, his plane crashed. Bin Laden said, "Oh, you killed my brother and you took the money. Your streets are going to be filled with blood." That's exactly what he did. That's exactly what he did. She'll be back. Yeah, she is right there.
Yeah.
So,
and I'm gonna be honest with you. I just learned, Kevin, because I didn't pay attention in school. Sorry, mom, who's also a teacher. I didn't realize what the Civil War was. I just felt like war was war. And I was like, we were coming back from the grocery store yesterday, and I'm like, wait, the Civil War is between just us and us? Oh. Wait a minute. So we was fighting ourselves? And he was like, yeah. I'm like,
it was the North and the South. The North and the South were fighting, like
that's
for real.
crazy to me. I said, did they meet up, or was it a landfill? Like,
seems like a racial thing to me.
That's exactly, well, it was racial, but it was racial between the same race. Like,
right,
that's crazy.
We up north, well, we down south.
That's the dumbest word I've ever heard in my life.
Right.
I've never paid attention.
But somebody got paid. Somebody got paid.
Well,
somebody got paid.
Who was that?
Even though who was what?
Who was it got paid? Just say it.
The government did.
I thought so.
The government got that money. Whatever. See, this is the other reason why we involving ourselves in other people's business. You got to watch that movie War Dogs, right? It's about these two kids that decided they was going to get into these they were going to become arms dealers. They were illegal, and they were shipping different kind of not arsenal, but military weapons and bullets and all that stuff. They were literally sending them to different countries. The only reason why they got caught was because they were shipping Chinese weapons in what was the country? Albanian cartilage. So they were actually carting the stuff that was looking like it was Albanian weapons, but it was really Chinese. And they got caught. That's the only reason why they got caught. Well, the main reason why they got caught was because somebody was supposed to get paid and they didn't pay them. So the guy called the United States and he was like, "Yeah, if you're looking for them, they right over here." You know, but it's like somebody, and they were making literally almost $100 million every hour.
That's crazy.
$100 million every hour. And guess what? The deal hadn't even been signed yet, and these boys had $100 million in their bank account. They didn't even finish the deal.
But see, what people fail to realize too is Congress is what makes those choices. The
and it's not
just
the president.
signs off, right? Yeah. And one thing that I remember, I'll never forget, it was a movie that Joe Pesci was in. The best way he described it was the president being the bum for the people. He's just a bum. He doesn't make no decisions. All he wants to do is fight for civil rights, and things of that nature. But honestly, he doesn't do anything. He's the face. He's the bum of the people.
Wow.
Avery, what was the name of that movie? Because it was with Brandon.
It was With Honors.
With Honors. That was one of my favorite movies.
Yeah. That's one of my favorite movies too, bro. But
I'm gonna watch it tonight.
When he broke that joint down, I said, bro, I didn't even see it like that.
Hey, he was like, yo, the president is just like me. He's a bum.
A bum.
That's exactly what he said. He sure did. And I think one of the biggest things about that is that when we really look at it, when is the last, but that's why Trump wants to do it the way he wants to do it, because he doesn't want Congress having the last say. He wants to have it.
Right. Yeah.
He wants to he doesn't want to be a president. He wants to be king.
He wants
to be
a
dictator.
He wants to be a dictator. And he said that.
He wants to be the American version of Saddam. He wants to be the new version of Hitler, basically. He wants to be the one that says, look, and if I don't like you, I'm going to put you in a gas chamber, or I'm going to turn you around over here and I'm going to let you, I was telling Tanya, and I told everybody on here about the time we went to Iraq, and she didn't believe none of it till, Young World.
I mean, I did.
But we went to a stadium, and the military police were telling us about the stadium. The stadium was beautiful, like one of the greatest, constructed, buildings I've ever seen. And they were like, yeah, but underneath that roof, something so vicious went down. And I said, what? He said, yeah, the Iraq was playing Germany, and they were playing and they lost. So Saddam Hussein went and had all of them, pretty much put back on the field, and he was looking at them and he said, listen, we can't win them all. We won a lot of them. We appreciate you guys. Listen, you live to fight another day. We're going to come back next time. We're going to get them. They just, He walked about 3 feet from them and said, you know what? I changed my mind. Kill them all. They hung every player from the team. They hung them by their necks all around, with the coaches, with the medical staff. Everybody that was on that Iraqi team was killed.
They take losing real seriously.
Yeah, well, the way he did it was such a punk move. Like, he really set them up to think he was leaving. Like, yo, let's come back and we're gonna get him. And he was like, nah, never mind. I'm gonna kill all y'all. And the Iraqi military went through there. They shot every man, and then they put a noose around their neck. They hung them from the stadium. And that's what Donald Trump wants to do. He's like, he wants to be feared like those guys. But I said this before, America is a third world country anyway. I don't care what nobody said. We so far behind, we keep thinking, and Terrence was on here, I told y'all 3 things about Terrence. He always eating, he always right, he ain't never wrong. That's just how it is. But Terrence even said, Kevin, the reason why Japan is so high tech is because that was our trade to them after bombing Hiroshima. We said we're going to go ahead and, we're going to help you guys. Well, they took it and ran with it. They was like, oh, okay, well, give us that. We'll go ahead. Steve Jobs and all of them, they were smart. They was like, you know what? As high tech as we are, they got more going on. So we're going to go over there and take it. And that kind of stuff, that's what the NAFTA agreement was, years ago. They were saying that if we can't do an even trade with certain things, and basically at this point, we're going to go ahead and, renounce our, loyalty to you and our allegiance. But Japan was like, yeah, we'll go ahead and do it. And I'm still saying, just because they got our tech, and a lot of them people didn't forget Hiroshima, and they waiting for the right time to come back to the mind of what they did, because they ain't playing with us. They real unhappy with what we did. A lot of people lost generations because of that bomb. And so that's that. Listen, as political as it is.
I'm sorry, my last point. Like I said, history repeats itself constantly. And the Bible says that nothing new under the sun. So everything what we are dealing with, what we are going through, it's like modern day anarchy. And we, let's get biblical for a minute. We're gonna have to trust as believers, we're gonna have to trust what we know and who we know. because this man is not going to change.
That's
Nope.
good.
He is not going to change. His mentality, he's sick. I was
Mhm.
listening to what he was saying during the insurrection. They played a clip of it. And during the insurrection, these are fine people. These are fine. This man is in Nancy Pelosi's office urinating on her desk, but these are
Mhm.
fine people.
Stealing
You
the
know,
dang podium and
stealing,
everything, but they find
you
people.
know, going to calling for the vice president to hang him out. There was a noose outside, but these are fine people. You know,
Well,
And
Because
most
in
of them
his
are the people that
mind,
he
and he's
hired.
not right. But the crazy part is he's not the only one that thinks that. He's just the only
That's
one that's
right.
bold or stupid enough to say it
To say it.
in a public atmosphere for it to
well,
be
and
now recorded as a soundbite that we'll forever hear. And the sad part is
any,
all he's doing, and Tracy talks about this all the time, all he's doing is awakening the
you're right,
racists
the
in
beast.
every part of the country.
That's
And
right.
the beast is loose at this point.
Yeah,
But the
yep,
beast is not just loose in the laity, the beast is loose in those that are working in government, those that are
right.
working as police officers and law
Yes,
enforcement, those that are working
yes,
in education, those that are working in big business. It's turning into a monster that we're almost
right,
unable to control at this point.
right. At
Yeah.
this point, and any president that says, "I can stand in the middle of what he said, Times Square, was it? Some big
Middle of
area.
Times Square,
I can shoot, and nobody will do anything to me. I can shoot
because
you
I'm the
Mhm.
president.
You feel
because
like
I'm the
you're
president."
invincible. Yeah, you feel like you're
You
invincible.
know, this is a classic of being turned over to a reprobate
Spoiled.
mind.
Yes, the
Mm-hmm.
truth.
Absolutely,
That is the
absolutely.
truth.
It is.
Yep.
It's right in our faces.
Yes.
This man
Like you
is.
said, history is repeating itself. And I said it last week on the show. While most people would look at Hitler, and we know that he was wrong for what he did, but
Right.
his prowess allowed him to be, for lack of a better term, a good leader.
A good leader.
This guy does not
Well,
have the
he's not even a good
prowess.
leader.
He does not
He's
have
not,
the poise.
he's
He
not
doesn't
even a
even
good
have the
leader.
potential to be a good leader.
He doesn't
Right.
even
And it's
have the
evident in all the businesses that he's lost. He doesn't have the mindset
No,
of a
no.
5-year-old, to be honest. But
He is a brat.
it's so
I don't
bad.
want to lose, and I don't want to
Right.
lose. This is a rigged, campaign. This whole thing was rigged. He's stomping his feet like some little
Like a
child,
little kid.
and yeah,
And
and
but the
And
I don't want
yeah,
to.
we don't understand
So
here
I'm gonna
is that
get
it's
my
not working out.
I'm gonna get
yeah,
my bullies to go over to the Capitol,
yeah, yeah.
and I'm gonna follow you there. Notice he never got his hands dirty.
At
Uh-huh.
all.
And
Uh-huh.
then those
But
people that
also
he
notice,
hired that got caught, now they're saying, it was him and he
Of
was supposed to
course.
bail him out. So it's like,
but
And then to announce that he's going to pardon them. Listen to this man.
But
and never did. That's why they're
right.
He,
mad at him.
So what's
he's
that? I ain't gonna
sick.
say scared. Yeah, I'm sorry. Go ahead, mom. I'm sorry.
No, I'm just saying he's a sick man.
Yeah.
Yeah,
He's
yeah.
There's psychologically something very, very wrong with this man.
But
He sounds like
mhm.
Herod. He sounds like Nebuchadnezzar. He wanted
He
to put his
does.
feet
He
on Mount
does. That's
Rushmore.
good. That's good. That's good. That's good.
Those kings of old were vicious, vile,
They were.
self-serving, self-absorbed, cared nothing about the people, only the ones who said yes all day long and all night long to him. Does that
Hmm.
not sound like Nebuchadnezzar
It
and
does.
Paul
Herod,
and
Herod,
Herod
King Herod.
and
Hmm.
Herodias and all of them? He is a
And
modern day, he's nuts.
but what I know about what kind of scares me because like, oof, that means the end is really coming because the basis of salvation is the contrast. What is good like look like and what does bad look like, right? And so when we see if this man ever does get back into office and he is in this place where he's doing all these things and people grow tired of it, there's got to be somebody that's got to come to make it look like, oh, I'm the person that's going to be the answer because he's done all these things and we thought it was all right, but it wasn't.
That's the
But
scary part.
he comes to save the day, right? And even that person is still not the right person, right? Because we like Kevin said,
Because
I was
like
with
you
him.
said, Scott, there are people who think just like him.
No,
They
you're
just
absolutely right. And all
saying,
he's doing is opening a can of worms and say, "Oh, if he can say it, I can say it. If he can do it, I can do it. If he
right,
can beat it,
exactly.
I can beat it."
And that's why people are doing what they're doing. Oh, the president said it. The president did. So why can't I?
But
You
If
the
we
Bible talks
remember,
about.
he got people to drink or eat bleach pills.
He did. That was dumb. That was so dumb. Absolutely,
They
absolutely.
followed him, and he said, "It's COVID. Go get some bleach pills and eat them."
I didn't know that even existed till that he said that. But you're absolutely right. But
know
what it
that
also
either.
shows me is that the Bible talks about someone coming to really kind of show us what is actually right? Or we think that, right? And it's still not the right person, but it's like still the Bible really playing itself out in real time. And I'm just like, Lord, so I mean, how many terms of something or someone are we going to have to deal with before?
Probably only one.
Probably one other, right? I agree. No, I have to agree with
Yeah,
you.
I think only one.
Yeah,
Because
I have to
if
agree with
you,
you.
I tell people all the time, look at what used to be a newspaper. If you were to look at a
That's
newspaper and
right. You're right.
look at the Bible, hold one right next to each other, everything that the Bible said would happen is happening or has already happened.
Right.
So, what else? What else could happen? The end.
Exactly.
We're
That's it.
We're in.
Exactly.
We're at the end. We are at
hmm
the end. I would love to remain on here with you guys to talk about the lady that slapped the cop. I didn't see that.
I
Yeah,
didn't see that
just
either.
I'm not changing your narrative here, or your topic here, Kevin. I have to a few things to do before I have to get up at 6 o'clock in the morning.
well,
Praise
you
God.
go do that. Thank you for coming on. We appreciate
Come
it.
back
We'll
later
definitely
tomorrow.
have you back.
It
Next week.
was nice talking to
It was a
everybody.
pleasure to meet you.
Love
You
you.
too, dear.
Yes,
If
ma'am.
I get finished without what I have to do here, like in about 30 minutes, I might come back.
All
All
right.
right.
Great.
That's
These
good.
people will still be on. I'll be like,
Y'all still be on. Yes, trust me, I'm sure. Where is what's his name? What his name? What that boy?
Brent is off. He's
Brent,
not here today.
Oh
Brent,
Lord.
he might jump on later, but I did text him and say that your friend is on here, and if I know him, he probably sitting up there doing whatever he got to do. He's like, y'all,
I'll
I'm
be
going
hanging
home.
up.
Yeah. So I'll
I'm
let him know.
gonna try to come back, guys. This is absolutely amazing. I've watched you guys, Kevin. This is brilliant. I have watched you guys off and on and tried to, sneak in every now and then. But when he see me coming, he be like, "Oh Lord, hear my mother," because y'all be doing stuff got my ears can't stand.
I
But
behave. I behave.
but I thank you, and I hope
We
this
appreciate it.
continues. This is an amazing platform. Just be. Don't be like nobody. Just be, because this is good. This is really really good.
We
And
appreciate it.
everyone be safe. Have a good Scott. Can you call me please when you get a minute? It's about Saturday. Sorry. Pray for Kevin.
Will do.
Diane's
Yeah.
is being buried this weekend.
Yeah. I remember. We'll be
Yeah.
there. I remember her.
I'm not even sure. I have a treatment on Thursday, and I have to be still for 24 hours. So
Okay.
I'm not even sure if I'm gonna make the
Take care
funeral.
of yourself first. Always do that.
Yes.
Wait, you got a treatment tomorrow?
I do.
I think I could, since it's 800,
We'll
I
call.
can
I'll call
place
you.
it on my regular.
Who
Is that
that?
somebody's phone?
Yeah, who
Please?
was that? I'm like, what?
I have no idea. Wasn't me.
I think that was
Okay.
Scott.
Yeah, call me after y'all get done, Scott. Thank you, everyone.
All right,
God
Ma.
Will
bless
Thank you.
do.
We'll
you.
see you
I
soon.
Bye.
love you
Take
all.
care.
Y'all be safe. And if you
All
see me
right.
sneaking again, I'll try.
All right.
Okay. Alrighty.
Bye.
Yeah. It's I had she wanted to come on for a little while, so I let her
Who? Oh.
But yeah, it's just getting really really weird out here. And the truth is, a lot of people are having a very hard time with change. If Kamala comes in there, now it's not just a black person, but now it's a woman.
Yeah, that part is
And
two-faced.
if
Yeah.
it's we already had a you know what in there, now we got one female versions, that kind of thing. So, yeah, it's quite evident that a lot of people are. This is going to be a very interesting election. I think
I was
this.
telling Kevin yesterday, I was like, babe, I'm concerned about Trump winning because there might be a war. and I'm concerned about Kamala winning because there might be a war. And he was like, yeah, that's when I realized what civil war was. I was like, oh, civil war. I was like, oh, that's what a civil. I'm not gonna lie, I was very green. But I was like, oh my God. He started to explain it. I'm like, it could be a civil war. You're absolutely right. So I'm with you, hon. I'm with
It's
you.
not gonna ever get better until it gets better. Period.
Yeah.
And reality would say that, you know, a lot of us are dealing with certain things in certain areas, and it's kind of crazy. He said, Terrence Jones said, down there in Florida, Donald Trump has immigrants working for him. You guys get a green card, and they can only work for him. So what is that to? See what I'm saying? It's like that kind of stuff is going on, you know. So we're gonna move on from there. We spent a whole lot of time on that, and that's fine
Almost
because
an hour 15.
you can't undo it. But it is what it is. So yeah, this lady, I want to laugh a little bit. So this cop comes up to this lady. It was her brother's house. It was not her house. It was her brother's house, and he was so patient with her. Like he was being completely patient. He's like, "Ma'am, if you calm down, we can get to the bottom of it. And I promise you, if you guys would just calm down, nobody's going to jail. Like nobody's even. I'm not writing tickets or nothing. I just want to know if there's a way we can kind of resolve this issue without anybody getting hurt or, you know, being uneasy or uncomfortable, whatever." And he had his body cam on, but he had the flashlight because obviously they didn't have the lights on. And she turned around and looked at him. She said, "Get that camera out of my face." She slapped the cop. His flashlight went flying. And, you know, sometimes the content is one thing, but the comments are another. And I was looking underneath the content, and some lady, I don't know who she was, she said, "Well, if there was nothing wrong before, it's something wrong now." I think everybody going. But what really bothered me was that there was this little guy there. He couldn't have been no more than 7, 8 years old, and he had to watch his father, his aunts, all of them go to jail. You know, like they all went to jail because they were coming out and, you know, just too overexcited or too zealous and just moving too fast. And, you know, with cops, you can't move fast, especially if they can't see you, because the first thing they do is shoot. You got to be very careful. So I just don't know what I would have done if that girl slapped me like that. You know.
I remember a case where my father, we were all going to convention somewhere, and everybody was following each other in cars. Well, one person got pulled over by the cops. So my dad, my stepdad, with his thinking, jumps out of the car and runs to the car that got stopped. So that means he was running up on the police as well. They were like, "Stop, stop." You know, like I was like, "Oh my God, Daddy, get ready to get killed." But his mind doesn't think like that, you know. He's just like, "Hey, that's one of my members," you know, like, "Is everything okay?"
Right,
no,
right.
That's not how that was going to play out.
You got to really be careful because it's very clear to me that a lot of people just are not willing to understand that dealing with police officers like this can be a very dangerous thing. Very, very dangerous. So you got to be careful of that because they will shoot you.
They see you as a threat. They don't know what's
already.
They don't know what's going on with you, and that would be my immediate thought as well. I remember a case in an instance where I thought someone was trying to break in my home, and so my natural mind grabs a gun, even though I knew the person.
Right.
But you are trying to get in my house.
Yeah.
This is not going to play out well.
You got to die for that. We can't have that. We can't have that. We can't have that.
You know, I'm like, hey, you don't do that around me. I don't care.
Right.
If I'm your stepmom, it does not matter. That's right. And when his daddy came home, I told him what the deal was.
Right.
You don't do that here.
No, you can't. Times is crazy now. You got to be careful with that.
Yeah, you got to protect yourself. You know where your mind is.
Yeah, you know, these kids these days, like you said, they can't fight. They just shoot. They don't do anything else. They just, you know, always make it to where, you know, something else.
So just slap the cop.
She slapped him, and by this time, the police officers that were behind him were literally trying to defuse it from like 20 feet away. They're like, no, everybody's okay or whatever. And I think had she just stopped talking and just let him say what he got to say and quietly told what it was, I think she would have been all right. They all would have been all right. But she's, I mean, with intent, and I mean, it was just like, I'm going to make sure you know I was there.
Wow.
And next thing you know, she was the Chanel's, everybody else just got to jail. So I hope they made it out all right. That was a lot. So Tracy, everybody's doing something on here. That's fine. It's one of the Wednesdays. But let's talk about church antics for
church what?
Antics.
Oh my goodness. Okay.
Let's talk about it. Let's talk about the church antics for a minute. I'm gonna get some graphics done soon. We're gonna talk about church antics. Church antics. The antics of church. I don't know where to start. From the pulpit to the janitor. I don't know where to start. I am gonna, however, say that I have never seen more of a separation in the church than I see now. I ain't never seen it. I've never witnessed such a, seriously a big line drawn. I ain't never seen this before. Even in the guy, I had my mom on here, like she's a prolific soprano out here, has been for over 50 years.
Yes.
But the gospel music industry, I just don't know about it anymore. I don't know about the church. I don't know. It's like, I really just feel like if you ain't one of my friends, you ain't gonna last long here.
It's real crazy. But it always has been.
It's just more, you know what? You heard it through word of mouth back in the day, but now it's more so just, it's social media. It's the closest. Like there's certain things about a pastor that I shouldn't see or know.
That's true.
I shouldn't know what kind of mouthwash you're using, bro. Like I shouldn't know none of that. I shouldn't know what you and your wife talk about at night. I shouldn't know. Go ahead.
Do you remember there was a time when we didn't know the saints' names? All we knew was brother and your last name. The last
That's
name.
it.
That's all you knew.
That's it. I remember we didn't know where the pastor lived.
Right. But now
we didn't go to the pastor's house.
Age of everybody's hands on and everything is touchy, and so it's just too much.
Absolutely. I think that's the biggest thing. And I want somebody else to talk because I have to get my dog because he took something out of the trash can. He's trying to
my.
So I gotta go get him. I want y'all to talk about something because he doesn't know I'm getting ready to go over here. Where am I? Excuse me one second.
Oh. All right, so let's talk about it, Scott.
These dogs are something different. You hear me?
Yeah, they on the whole human vibe these days.
For real. Where did Avery and Tanya go?
I don't know.
I'm still here.
Oh, okay.
And I'm here. I'm back and forth doing like 4 different things right now.
Yeah, I can see. Yeah. So I think the church thing people have gotten way too touchy with other people. We feel because social media has connected us that we can overstep our bounds and just, really come out of the bag, so to speak, and you just can't do that. There has to be a line, you see a person on social media, you see a person maybe post videos or something like that. It is what it is at that. I think it really goes over the top when people start getting people's inboxes, when we post too much of our own personal business.
Yeah, like
people post way too much.
Way too much. So yeah, that's where we are. It's just way too much posting about personal stuff. Like you see a lot of people posting about their children's first day of school. Don't do that. It's too much. Just way too much. Too much personal information.
I'm sorry. I didn't kill him, but I wanted to. But he's all right.
Nah, you good.
He's put up for now. Just decided he was going to do something after this is done. So. All right. Am I caught up? No? Yeah?
Yeah, pretty much. I was just saying how just social media has given people a little bit more touchy feely, and that's where we cross the lines, go over bounds. You know, things just get out of hand.
Yeah, it has, but what it also has done is exposed a lot of things that go on behind closed doors. And I say again, there are things that I should not know. There are things about people that I should not be privy to the information. There's certain things that I shouldn't be dealing with. But as far as the church antics go, I am really just over a lot of the silliness that goes on. And, I just really look at how I've said this so many times on other lives we're doing, but how I live at the house is how I'm going to live at the church.
It's true.
If I'm never on time for work, 9 out of 10 times, I'm not coming to church on time.
You're not.
If my child is unruly at the address that he sleeps, then bringing him to church is not going to change his mind, because that is a practice. That is not an immediate, it's going to shift.
That's right.
If he does not respect his mother or father, if she does not respect her mother or their elders.
Period.
Let's not just talk about the parents. I'm talking about people that are older than you. These are not your peers. And you can't respect them at the house. Then when you get to the church, you're not going to do nothing but put on an encore performance. This is who you are.
Right. If you allow your children at home to run all over the place, I'm not saying that they have to just sit still, but I mean unruly, run all over the place, crawl all over the furniture, just do all sorts, hang from the chandeliers. Believe me, when they get to church, that's exactly what they're going to do, and they're going to think it's okay because that's how they live at home.
Tracy, you want to see a church, a child that is from the church, you want to see how bad they really are. There's one place that people don't get. Take them to an airport.
Really?
Take them to an airport.
Take that bad child to the airport. You'll find out how much they can't stay still and how bad they are.
Boy, when I tell you, something comes out of them. There's something in that federal building that just opens up the portals. They act plumb fool.
The devil comes out.
I mean, it goes, when I tell you, they be like, oh, is that spirit? That's American? I'm letting it all go.
Wow.
And by TSA is bad. But when they really act stupid, when they get to the gate, I don't know what it is. And then you be sitting there like, oh, Lord, I hope this child goes to sleep before we take the Lord, please. And they're always unruly on the longest flights. If it's a flight that's 35, 45 minutes, they don't say much. But if you got that 2.5 hour flight, oh.
They like rip the cord and go wide open.
Oh, it's it's a button, and somebody pushes it, and it's just crazy. But it brings me back to the church antics. It's like, I really just don't understand why people think it's okay to just act a plumb fool. And Scott, you can probably attest to this. Everybody's talking about Keon Henderson and him asking for this money. Then they were talking about he had on this expensive shirt with the suspender on it. It was almost $1,000 for that shirt. He's asking 2,100 people to give to, or 200 something. Was it 200 or 2,100 people to give $2,100? And
right.
All of a sudden, one person in the comments was like, he better humble himself and go to Shauna and ask her, or Shawnee, and ask her to go to Shakira and ask him for the money. But the truth is, that when the church was damaged, they got insurance money for it, and nobody's saying anything about that. You know,
Had
I'm
to
still
have.
saying, but we still need the 2.1 million, or whatever.
Yeah.
And I was like, you know what? I just feel like this. You know, it's amazing to me how you look great, but business is not in order to take care of the building. You know, and there are a lot of people saying, well, you know, people in your church struggling to make, ends meet. Here you are with this $1,000 shirt asking for money, and all I know is you can tell what kind of life you're living based on the people who want to help you.
Right.
Because if they want to help you, you're living a good life. When folk look at you and go, not that one,
Then
you
you
mess
know.
some stuff up. You
Right.
really mess some stuff up. You really mess some stuff up. But yeah, it's one of those things. Yeah, it's one of those things. Let me see. Somebody else wanted to come on here. I asked them if they want to come on and try and see if they come on. I think they got the link. So we'll see what happens. But yeah, some of these people in these churches, there's still people doing the $100, $50, $25 line. It wears me out. I just, we shouldn't even
Still
have to
in
do that.
2024?
Oh, they're still doing it. They're still doing it. And what gets me about some of these church antics is that I don't know. Can y'all tell me where did we get off thinking that it's okay to talk down to an adult?
You know what? I honestly don't think they
School
do
me.
that in Caucasian churches. I really don't. What happens with us is we are so used to, or the mindset of slave master and owner,
That's right.
that the more you talk down to these people, the more people you're going to have, and the more likely they are to follow that person. It's just the facts. My parents were pastors, and there were some people that came to our church, and they were Black people, African American people. They were like, it's nice, but it reminds us of white church. You give away things for free. You give away snacks, you give away drinks, and people are free here, and they just weren't used to it.
Yeah. I here's my thing.
Hold on one second, y'all. They got Oprah talking tonight.
Oh Lord. All right. Well, everybody's gonna listen.
The Color Purple.
Right.
Hey, Mr.
One of the
Glenn.
things about Glenn, what's up, man? What's going on? I think one of the biggest you said slave, right? And I can't put it no other way. I can't put it no different than that, no better than that. It is the slave mentality. It's the slave mentality, and it is that mentality that says, and I gotta say it the way I can say it, but it's that, you the field nigga, I'm the house nigga.
That's right. That is right.
And
For sure.
while you out there hot and working on the cotton, I'm
in the
sweeping
house.
the floors, and I'm making the
Mhm.
beds up, and I'm making tea, and I'm taking the trash out. I'm only out to eat for a little while. But what you gotta understand is, to all things on that plantation, you are a nigga.
Right. Whether you a uppity nigga or a field nigga, you a nigga.
At the end of the day, that's what you are. A lot of people don't like to hear us talk about the work, but this is my show, so we can say it. Thank you. But at the end of the day, and Glenn, I guess you can hear me, we're talking about, just how people talk to people in church. I've heard people, and we talk about church antics actually, but I've heard people take that microphone and degrade so many people just because they got on a clergy collar, or they got that cross in the left pocket of that purple silk shirt or rayon shirt, whatever it is. And I just, I don't know what kind of fat that is.
Don't say so. Please don't say
Yeah.
so.
that's silk blouse. I don't know what it is. I don't know. But They just talk down to people. Choir directors, do what I said. I told y'all to do. No, who are you talking to? Because we never sat down and had a discussion that I feel like it was okay for you to do that.
Right.
I never gave you the authority. And what I understand is, as a leader, I have to understand that I can't lead if ain't nobody behind me.
That part.
So if I'm going to lead anybody, I got to be nice. The other thing is, there are a lot of people that we're leading that ain't getting paid to be there.
That's the truth.
A lot of volunteers.
Ain't getting a dime.
No, we have yet to learn how to treat volunteers. We don't know how to treat people like
We
that.
don't.
We don't know.
Can I say something about that volunteer thing? I think the best ever that I always saw volunteers treated well was at the Times Square Church when Greg Thomas was the minister of music. They used to do every year at Christmas a service for the volunteers, and it was having all the volunteers. They had 1,500 volunteers. Now, anybody ever been to Times Square Church? You know it is a huge theater.
Enormous.
They've got plenty of people on staff. And when I say plenty of people, I mean their staff budget is probably anywhere between $4 and $5 million a year just for their staff budget. But they had 1,500 people that were volunteers. They were cleaning bathrooms. They were operating security. They were the welcoming committee. They were the hosts. They were the ushers. Everybody they would bring in and they say, you're not doing anything today. Sit, enjoy worship. And they would have different artists come in, different choirs, solo artists, preachers, all kinds of stuff. And then afterwards, they would go over to the other side of the building and they had a 5-course feast for these people. And that was something that they look forward to every year, just to know that they were being appreciated.
Yeah.
We don't do that enough. And I'll even go a little bit further. We don't even do it for those of us that are leaders in the church. We don't do it enough for our paid staff. Because we just feel like, oh, well, we're paying you and you just got to be here because we're paying you. No. Tomorrow night, I'm starting my rehearsal back up at Trinity. We've been on summer break. We're having rehearsal tomorrow night. But before we go to rehearsal, I said to my drummer, I was like, yo, what you doing? His birthday was a couple weeks ago. What you doing tomorrow before rehearsal? He's like, when I get off work, nothing. Good. We're going to dinner. I hit my assistant minister of music. I said, what you doing after you get off work? He was like, nothing. We got rehearsal. I was like, good. Meet me at 5 o'clock. We're having dinner. So we're going to just chill for a couple hours, and we got rehearsal at 7 o'clock. We already know what we're going over tomorrow because everybody got the list. And I mean, if I'm sitting at home and I ain't doing nothing, y'all sitting at home, we ain't doing nothing, why can't we just go out and have some fun and just talk? But we don't do that enough in church because everybody just thinks because we turn the lights on, we open the doors, you're just supposed to be there.
Right.
Let me say this. One of the things that I noticed in the church is that we have a lot of people with personality issues. I wish people would
Donald Trump in the
understand.
church.
Right.
I wish people would understand that the church is literally you. It is not the building. And what I know about it is God is intelligent. God is extreme. I mean, there is nobody more intelligent than God would get that. Because no man could do this. Changing the sun and moon and stuff. Ain't no man could do that. So I don't care what nobody says. Ain't no God. Then you go up there and put Saturn somewhere else. I want to see this, but okay.
Right.
But what you have to understand is that's why there are therapists and clinical therapists and psychiatrists and things of that nature, because there are certain things that you cannot get healed right away from at the church building. That is why my sister is a pastor. She's an executive pastor of the Church of Philadelphia. And she will tell you, if a person comes to me and asks to be healed of drugs, I got to send them to somebody who's been healed of drugs. Because I've never been a drug addict. So I cannot tell them what exactly they need to do. I can't tell.
Exactly.
I don't have that. So I have to be ready and willing to understand that in order for you to get the right counsel, you have to go to the right person. You have to go deal with that, But the reality of it is that you got a lot of people talking about just come to church. God gonna work it out. No. And I'm not saying he can't. What I'm saying is that you have to use wisdom. This pastor is not equipped to deal with your anguish. He's not there. So we do understand that happens sometimes. But what you cannot do is think that your personality is something that we have to tolerate at the church because you have a title.
That's the truth.
You understand? I'll buck up against the pastor in a heartbeat because anytime I see that a pastor is trying to downplay people or use his office to basically corrupt people's minds into thinking that if it don't come from me, Bishop Herman, what is his name? Herman, I think he's in Maryland or he's somewhere. He was like, a lady called him. He went to the hospital with her, and she called him. He went to the hospital, got in her room, and she said, Pastor, they told me either I take this medicine and it's not going to be comfortable, but at least it'll keep me alive. If I don't take the medicine, I'm going to die. She said, what do you think I should do? And he said, as a pastor,
You
it's
talking about
scary.
Herman Jenright?
Is that his name? I forgot his name. I know what he looked like. I forgot his name. But he said it scared the life out of him. He said, because as a pastor, what she basically put in my hands was her life or death. He said, and that ain't up to me. That's up to God. He said, you pastors have to be very careful that these people follow God and not you.
That's right.
That part.
Because if a person is going to let you give them the authority to live or die, then who wants that position? Who wants to say, I assume the position of a God and I'm going to tell you whether to live or die? He said it hurt him to his heart. He literally had to go home, went in his basement, closed all of the doors and cut the lights off and stuff. And he was praying. He said, I don't want my membership doing that to me. Like I can't be that guy that you think so hot. Herman Murray, that's his name. Thank you, Myron. Herman Murray. And he kept saying, you can't, you pastors that want everybody to follow you, you better repent now. Because you're basically sitting up here and these people are looking at you like God. And you ain't him.
That's right.
You ain't him. And then after it went off, they don't always play the whole thing. He was like, how y'all talk to people, how y'all treat people, how y'all approach the musicians. He said, I don't know why y'all give these boys such a hard time. I don't know why y'all give them such a hard time. But can't none of y'all in here come up and do nothing that these boys are doing over? None of y'all can do what these boys are doing over. And y'all got something to say about all of them. You got something to say. You got something to say about all of them. And I know when I was coming up, my name was Mud in so many women's mouths. But you weren't mad at what I did. You were mad because I didn't do it with you. Right. You know, and that was the reality of it. You were upset because, and a lot of times it was a lie, but I'm like, okay, well, I mean, that's what you want to believe. But there's so many people that talk so crazy about folk, and just because we go to the same church does not mean you know me.
That's the truth.
It don't mean you know me. It doesn't mean you know me because you know my mama. That don't mean you know Kevin.
Right.
And she'll be the first to tell you. If you want to know anything about that boy, go ask him. But enter at your own risk. Because if you feel like answering, you're going to, and that should be for anybody on here or anybody outside. Yeah. Like you just have to watch it. I hear how some, like I said, choir directors, you know, some of them girls, I mean guys, I mean people, they just be going it. You know, they just go at it. They just very nasty with their mouths. They approach people in their kind of way. They talk in their kind of way. And I just think it's a travesty, you know. Then they get mad when the person that they're talking to reacts to the way they talk to them.
And you're right, because I've had women choir directors do that, and I've had men choir, and I'm like, I can't differentiate the two. So when I became when I was one for a couple of years, a lot of years of my life, but I was like, I will never be that person. I'm funny. We gonna just exude the funny that's me, right? Because I'm not gonna be what I saw and I felt and experienced from not only men but women too.
Yeah.
Hard women. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You right. You right about that one. Now let me tell you.
I've heard
You had better know
females.
we gonna laugh about it together.
I've heard female choir directors. When my mom was on here, Maddie Mose Clark threw a book at my mother.
I heard about that.
She threw a book at my mom. She threw a hymn book at my mother. And you know, I'm just glad her and Karen and Doreen and all them still friends at this point.
Right.
That lady, you know, she is. I tell people all the time, Doreen Stansel is a classy lady. She's very. If ain't nobody going to heaven, she gone. But my mother is from the projects. Let's just be clear about all of it. She was raised there. So was I. So was my sister wasn't, but I was. And God really worked on her because she doesn't react first. You know, she'll go back and say, Lord, she'll just pray and do whatever. My son doesn't have that gene, but we're working on it.
You know what's crazy? I feel like some people look at experiences and say, I'm going to be just like that. And some people have experiences and say, I'm never going to be like that because that didn't feel good. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's so weird. Not weird, but it's so different how our minds are all made up.
And they alter to a certain thing.
Yeah, it's almost like parents being who they are, or moms and dads being who they are, and the son may not have verbalized and said it, but then we end up being just like their father. Yes. Or the girls being just like their mother. They may not verbalize it, but instead of saying that's all right, but there's some, you know, there's some gray areas that we can address that we don't have to be like that. You know what I mean? And so I thank God that as a choir director, I did not exude the choir directors that was under, and some being very close to me. Let me be very close. Some being very, 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 very close to me. That I'm like, I wouldn't even treat that these people may. I mean, I wouldn't even treat. It wasn't always happened to me, but I would never treat the other people like that. You know what I mean? And so, I don't know. I don't know. It is, but
it's quite clear that a lot of people have not. They and I put this post up a while ago, or not that long ago, when I said that musicians, we often work on our gifts first, then we work on our character. You know, when it should be the other way around. We should be working on our character, then be working on our gifts, because the first thing that's displayed is your character. Your gift is not displayed first. You know, your character is. And your character suggests that it's not of a certain kind of it's not a reputable thing as a good thing. A lot of times people don't want to hear you play.
That's true.
They don't want to hear you play. They don't want to hear nothing you got to say because you know you have a nasty attitude, or you don't handle people well, you don't work well with others, you know, you don't, and that's what kind of happens. Is so we get to that point where it becomes very dangerous to have that kind of toxic, you know, mentality. And the next thing you know, now you want to have a whole conversation about why nobody hiring you. But you know, you didn't get hired because, you know, you act like you want to be fired. So that's what happened.
That's true. And the music don't feel good. Let's just be honest. We've all played on the bandstand with somebody whose attitude was terrible, even though their gift was good. It was great. But it's just that whole, especially us bass players with the drummer, if the drummer's attitude sucks, I don't care how well he can play. I don't care how well you lock up. You just still feel like, man, you suck. Because your attitude sucks.
Right.
And when the bass is missing, hear me out, Kevin.
Oh, Lord.
When the bass is missing, and it's only
Tracy,
the drum, and it's only the keyboardist or organist, it's really blatant who is right, wrong, and indifferent, and don't. And if everybody's even in sync, if those people who are in sync without the bass it still sounds empty.
Somebody is breathing really hard. Scott, is that you?
No, you hear my air purifier in the background.
Oh, I was like,
air purifier is breathing here. It's like
I said somebody.
No, it's my air purifier. I just heard. My ear purifier just turned up.
Got asthma.
It's sleep. Somebody
She said,
is
"Sound like I got asthma."
Just tell me what it sound like.
It's supposed to be helping you with asthma. It's causing it.
Right.
Give it
So
that little push.
So yeah, what she was talking about, I'm not
Baby,
saying
don't go into it. Let me go into it, please.
Okay,
But no, when you are dismissing the heart of the base, and I know that the two people on top of my screen is Tracy and Kevin, T and K. Okay, when that part is gone and that bottom is not there, or that heaviness, or that rhythm. Oh Jesus, help me, Lord. Vocally, not rhythm, but vocally, it's not there, right? It's there. The rhythm is there from the drums, right? But as far as vocal rhythm, it's not there. It feels like it's missing. And currently, I'm not gonna say who, because there's nobody on here. That's crazy. When someone wants to try to dismiss that part, you're gonna feel and sound like it's not. It's needed, right? You know what I mean? I know, Tracy, you putting your eyes to the left or right. Maybe, I don't know, because you might be mirrored here, but I don't know. Anyways, but you understand your part when people are like, I feel like I wanna try a different avenue. When the pieces that you guys are not using, the strings that you guys are not using, are not there, and you're like, really? Are you sure? Because that kind of makes up a. I've actually been, and maybe you guys can attest to it. I've been to concerts or small venues or bigger venues where the drums weren't there and it was just bass and piano, and it still sounded just amazing because the bass kept the rhythm and the tone. There's a sound there that's not like the drum that gives a rhythm. It's a sound there, and so I only say that because I'm not saying nobody here, and I'm not saying it is somebody here, but and I'm not either way. Anyways, Kevin wants to say something so bad.
because you're just not getting to it, and it's on the tip of my tongue.
I don't want to get to it because it's not my business. Well, it is my business to tell, but it's not my business to tell. But when you try to say, let me say this. Let me pause where I'm at. Let me start. No.
Go ahead.
Make me feel stupid.
No, I'm just saying, instead of trying to be so whatever, just say it. That's all. Just say it.
This mother. I'm sorry. Trying to say my mother. I'm sorry. I'm just kidding.
She's laughing. Here's what she's gonna say.
Baby, because you don't know how to say it right, but neither do I.
No. See, you're right. Yeah.
Heard the same.
Okay. No. We're not saying, because I'm gonna lead you to where we need to go. The bottom line is this. Yeah, I know. Well, let me show. Here's a reality. The reality is that, and Tracy, we were talking about church antics, right? Here's another form of church antics. I don't like when people call themselves trying to what's the word? Trying to go in another direction based off of something.
Oh, I hate those words.
Is going on with you, when in reality you're more of a help to them, and you aid them more than they bargained for. So when you're not there, when you are not there after you've been there, and you are not there, thank you. Okay, I got it. I get it. But what's going on is that you not being there exposes their inability to be effective. So you don't have the title, but you have the power.
Wait, you gotta say one thing, because Kevin's great at what he's saying right now. Figure great. So before he got where he got to, someone came over and tried to be a new minister of music. But when you are trying to be a new minister of music,
that's right. Go ahead. That's right. You're right.
You weren't okay. It's okay, but you gotta start with this. I'm just gonna put this out there. When you are the new minister of music, and you're the new person coming on the scene, you got to look like you're the contrast of what they had prior to, right? You got to look like there is something different than what they had prior to. Even if I wasn't there, I got to look different. So I'm going to get rid of or change or do something different than what I feel like y'all were doing. You told me it was on Wednesdays, maybe it's on Thursdays today. I don't know, whatever. But I feel like, and I knew the Lord had told me that something was going to happen. I didn't know how quick it was. I know it's going to be this week or this soon. Maybe I'm saying too much. Anyways, that things were going to change based on this person being now in place. And when that happens, and now you're trying to blame everybody else and saying they want to go in a different direction, aka Scott, our worst favorite words or phrases. And that's like, you really just say it's you. Just say, I came in, I'm here now. I don't like that you leave at a time where everybody's doing what they want to do. Now, mind you, before it was fine. It was no issues. Not a peep.
It didn't become a problem until they showed up. But let me interject this too. That the way that they got there
was shady.
So these are the church antics. You came in wrong, but now you want to try to make things right.
That don't work.
You started off wrong, and you basically got the other guy fired. And so you came in, but there's a twist to this, and I'll do it the right way. But you told everybody that you came in conjunction with the person who you talked to, and you said that y'all linked up and y'all connected, right? But the linking up with the connection, I kind of look at it weird because there's some underhand stuff that went on that we have to be careful of. But at the end of the day, when you have the power but not the title, you could be there, Tracy, and then you say, I gotta go. And then when you leave, you make other people look so good when you're present. But when you're not there, they get upset, and then they want to try to get rid of you altogether, because now, along with the fact that you left them standing there and they are powerless when you're not there, now it looks bad on them to the people that hired them and says, well, yeah, when he's not here, something just happens. There's something that falls apart. Something gets weird. So you want to try to pull this move and say, okay, well, they want to go in another direction. Listen, going in another direction, what you have to understand about going in another direction is that when you use those words, you have to understand that means that you're going in the wrong direction. And I'm going to tell you why. Because if you're going in another direction, then it would not be to a point where you're trying to wait 2 weeks.
That's part.
Here it is. If you're going in another direction, it's already gone on.
In place,
that's right.
So if you're because what I know about going in another direction is unless your car broke, the moment you make a left or a right, immediately that car goes in the direction that your steering wheel is turning.
Yes, it does.
So when you get to a place, when you get there, and I know what, it's church antics, Tracy. That's what we're talking about. But I know what this is. What it is that you want it because there's something else going on at the church that you want to look good.
Mm-hmm.
So you're like, let's do it after that.
And let me call a spade a spade. I'm sorry, go ahead.
Go ahead.
The spade a spade was on a certain Sunday that my precious, who's also hard, sweet, precious Kevin was there. They wanted to do a happy birthday to these extra people, right? They want to do a happy birthday to one person, a happy birthday to another person.
Then they let all the visitors talk. Then they let the ushers walk out.
They were like the granddaughter, the grandson, the son-in-law, the son. Everybody has their own speech towards this birthday, right? It's not a 70th, it's like a 73rd. Like, it's not even.
It was unnecessary. So
I'm not gonna say it was unnecessary, but it was too many people. It was feeling like it was a monumental birthday, like the 100th. Okay, and to mind you, again, as I mentioned earlier, every Sunday had been fine with Kevin leaving at a certain time. They already knew, because Kevin said, he said to them, he said to the other people, if you want to pay me the whole amount, I will stay all day. I will stay, sit down, and maybe even set up 2 chairs. Like, like I got you. You know what I mean? But if you're not, then just understand I'm here till this time, and I gotta go to another one because I got, you know, he got a life to live. We got bills to pay. Hello.
Right.
Anyways, so so anyways, because this particular Sunday they wanted to do an extra birthday and have 19,000 people, maybe it was 13,000, but still, people talk on behalf of this birthday. These two, not one, 2 people's birthdays, and then because he had to go, and it was time to go, and it's regular time. You got me from this. You scheduled me. I'm scheduled for this time, and you ain't had a problem
Not
today.
doing nothing different.
Nothing different. Y'all did something different. Y'all didn't tell me. Y'all didn't say, listen, it's gonna last a little longer. Can you? And here's the thing: when you have, let me say something. Let me tell you something. My hours for work where I work at is 7 to 3:30. But tomorrow, and I'm so happy because I'm be so sleepy. Y'all know when we go to after hours. Y'all know about the after hours, right? Y'all know. When it's time, the light. You see my rollers come. Y'all be seeing me at a whole different person, right? Am I wrong?
No, you're not wrong.
And don't say I'm ugly. But anyway, I mean a little bit. Anyway, so listen, I gotta get up at 5 because I pray at 5 with the prayer team, and then I still gotta be up and ready for work to be at work, and I gotta drive 30 minutes to be there. And I'm not a person who fights with time. I like to be there early, and let me just get there early and deal with my time. I gotta be there at 7. But tomorrow I ain't gotta be there until 10 o'clock. I'm sorry, because I'm actually training a team. And so I'm gonna be there a little bit later tomorrow, so I got a little bit of time to sleep in. But anyways, but if you tell me what's happening ahead of time, I can let the other side know, or I can deal with what I need to deal with on the other side.
And that's not what happened.
And they didn't say, well, we got a birthday. No. Well, actually, we got 2 birthdays, and everybody want to do. Here's the thing: the way that they're dealing with the hours in the corporate world, it should be the same dealing hours what they're going to do in this church world. At the end of the day, I don't care what's going on. You need to let me know what's going to happen prior to somebody know. You may not know a musician or MD. You may not know drummer. You may not know usher, but somebody needs to know. Exactly. And need to have let us know. And that's a faulty part of a person who didn't let him know. But I know you want to say something because I feel
we got to get to it. Come on, babe. You reminded me of somebody else. Go ahead. Let's go. Come on. You reminded me of somebody else.
Not Chris Joe. Anyways, but at the end of the day, you got to set the foundation. But no, at the end of the day,
it was said already. Go ahead.
If you had let him know ahead of time this is what's going on, he could have let the other section or let other job that he has going on or gig, whatever you want to call it, know that he's going to be a little bit late because they're doing extra work. But you didn't do that. So don't do that and make me look like I did something wrong when I was leaving at the time that I always have left, and you've never ever had a time. But now you got somebody new on the scene, and now you want to say we're going a different direction. Excuse me?
Yeah, it's not. And here's the reality of it. To bring all of that to a head. The bottom line is, and again, we're talking about church antics. The bottom line is that what happened was the display of non-capability in leadership, first of all, administratively. And I'm just talking about that. Trust me, I will be fine with, and you guys already know about this other situation, which is why you're probably like, oh, okay, I thought that was dealt with. But the reality of it is this. There's a lot of people in these churches that do not do business the right way. They don't. They don't do business the right way. You don't talk to people the right way. And it's amazing to me how much they want to be the reason why you don't work, but they never put you on a contract in the first place. You always like to fire people. You always want to be the one to slam down the gavel and say, we're going to have to let you go. Nigga, you didn't bring me here. There was a guy that was here that said, Kevin, can you come over here? No, listen, I went off on him. I said, you know what? I've been playing here all this time. I never met the pastor. He doesn't know my status. He doesn't know they don't know nothing about me. And I'm just walking up in here and playing. He don't even know my name.
Really?
Yeah.
No. So I had to go and call a meeting with him myself.
And this is not the first time you've done that, Kevin.
No, it's not the first time. I even told church antics. It's like I literally said, sir, I have been coming in this door for over 7 months. I have never met you. I have never talked to you. You come over there and say what's up to the musicians. You've never known my name. I don't know how y'all deal with stuff, but you don't know you don't know anything about me. I could have came up in here one Sunday and sprayed this whole church, and you would not have known because you didn't get to. I mean, if you want to go to the Bible, know them that labor among you. You didn't know me at all.
That's right.
So that was strike one. Strike two was when the music department just doesn't care how they sound. They don't care. And I kept saying, you know what? And Tanya and a few other people always say, Kevin, your face. I can't, I'm sorry. That's just, you know how some women say, I can't hide my curves. I can't hide my face. I'm sorry. If it don't sound good, I
You
just can't do
can,
it.
but you just choose
I
not
can't
to.
do it. I can't do it. It is a choice and I choose not to. But the thing is, what I don't like is when people, and they may not know. Some people know they don't sound good, but some people don't know. You got to help them like they don't know. But don't have no arrogance about you. And the only time I ever heard you was when I came to this address. Because other than that, I ain't never heard of you. I don't know who you are. I've never heard of you. But when you get to that place where you become so asinine in how your delivery is, and then the way you call, and I know what I'm going to do. I know me. So the bottom line is that if y'all calling yourselves doing this and you giving me 2 weeks, I want to hear it from the pastor's mouth. I want to hear it from one of the elders, and I want to hear it from this all at the same time. I want y'all to talk because if it turns out that they didn't know anything about it,
right?
And here's the thing with you, Kevin.
Now we gotta talk.
And here's the thing with Kevin, you don't realize the impact that you have on musicians. They don't realize that that's a right that they should have, right? And I'm not saying that
what you mean?
Or them, not you just being let go or the person being let go from the musician or MD side, but hearing it from the pastor side, because really he's the one who makes the decisions, or the deacons or whatever.
That's true.
Make the decisions. Mm-hmm. And so with you saying that you're the first, and I've dealt with musicians all my life, just knowing I've been a singer all my life, so I get it, right? Not that I've dated, let's be clear. Anyways, people, but you saying that opens a can of worms to those who doesn't know that they should be talking also to leadership, because they don't know what's always going on. They just kind of leave it up to somebody else, right? And now you might have some ignorant pastors say, well, I'll leave it up to Karen, or I'll leave it up to this person, that person to make the decisions. Okay, but you might run into musicians, if you're listening to this, somebody else to say, well, I didn't know that was happening, because you've actually, I know me and you have listened to that before. People who've said, I know that was happening. I would have done something. I would have learned something different. Because everybody in your leadership doesn't always have the right calling or the right thing to say. You know what I mean? And so I think that you saying that, and you being that person who says, I wanted to also learn and talk to the pastor. And it may not always be in your favor, because you've talked to some pastors who's like, what did we just talk about? I don't know.
It just gets to a point where I just don't understand. And at my big age, I really think that a lot of people should be into a point where they understand that there are just certain things that should not happen. But Tracy, let me say this, as you and Scott knows this too. At my age, I'm tired of people who don't know what leadership is trying to lead me.
Yeah,
that part.
I'm really over that. I'm over that. I'm not going to sugarcoat it. I'm not going to be quiet about it. I'm not going to put myself in a position. Or look who made it. Let me finish my point before y'all go crazy. Just let me finish my point. And I just said, what did I just say?
What's
just
up, dude?
Hold on a minute. Hold on a second.
I love it.
But the real truth is that you have to understand that, Scott, here we go again. You cannot lead me to places you ain't never been, but I have. I know how
you're
to
right
get
about
there.
it.
You don't know how to get there. So if I know how to get there, but you call, and what here's the reality. The reality is you don't know that I know how to get there because you don't know me. So really what you're thinking is I'm like you because we're in the same room. We're not like each other. As a matter of fact, I want to tell you something, that our
Worlds
being
apart.
here and worlds apart. But Tanya earlier, she was like, Kevin, certain things you just don't have to say. Scott, I want to see what you think about this. I basically told him, listen, I know who I am. You're not, I'm a blessing. You're a blessing that I'm there. You're being blessed that I'm there. Because at the end of the day, there's a whole lot of stuff that goes on that I could have helped you guys with. But even if you say that you're going to come in and you're going to be the one to fix everything, the bottom line is when you have to do things underhanded like this, that lets me know that number one, you don't know what you're doing. No. Number two, you are just like what they brought you in under.
Well, let me say this because
you were hold on, Tanya. Hold on,
Tanya.
Tanya. Hold on. Mm-hmm. So you are coming in and you're acting like what they did to the other guy. You're acting as the same person. You're the same thing. So what you're letting me know is that you have become spiritually intertwined with this mess over here anyway. So now you're trying to make me look like I'm going to be without because you're doing it this way. And I told him, I'm not fired. It has nothing to do with that. I told him I don't get fired from jobs. I leave. I don't get fired. But, and that's not an arrogant statement. I just know when it's time to go. And I have been praying like, God, you know what? At this point, just let me know when it's time to go. Because since I've been there, there's been scrutiny with this gathering. There's been scrutiny. There's been problems. But I was like, when it's time to go, it's time to go. And I always know when it's time to leave. I just didn't know it was going to happen this way. And you were used to not only escalate the process of exit, but you also let me know what kind of person you are at the same time.
Right.
And all I was saying was that same thing. If you feel like it's God saying because you had said that you wanted to leave, that there was no need to also say, I'm leaving, you ain't fired. Like that part wasn't necessary because you knew what God was doing. You don't come before God. It's like, okay, cool. And at the end of the day, it doesn't matter what that looks like.
Yeah, we'll discuss it. But the only reason why I said that was because that wasn't a God thing. That was to him because the way you didn't hear what he was saying, but the way he was saying it.
I get what
you didn't give me all those details.
Yeah, the way he was saying it was as if to say they want me out.
Yeah.
And that's not what happened. But in the interim, let me put it in this bracket because I don't want to air out too much of that, and I was only saying church antics. That's where I'm at. But the real deal is that, and I want to say it this way. How you get rid of people or how you call yourself asking people to leave, you have to understand that before you are anything else, you are a church. That's a soul. So at the end of the day, you don't know what that could do to somebody. That could cause them to feel like, you know what, I'm not going back to church, because they hurt my feelings. I've been around church all my life and I can just tell. I can tell when people are up to no good. I can tell. You know what I'm saying? I can look at it and say, you know what? Here it is. I've been here before. And guess what? You know what I do feel about it? It's not the church, it's you. It's you doing that because you really feel like, when you leave, I don't get to show them what I could do here because now I got to cover your part. You're not covering my part. You could never cover my part. There's no way you could cover my part. But that's only coming from the fact of, I'm looking at you and you're in this position where if you really have what you need, and I say this all the time, if you really anointed, it don't matter who's there. If you really know what you're doing. I know plenty of people that the great Melvin Christopher, I used to have to punch Melvin in his head, like turn them pedals off. Because that's all he did. He played pedals off. He was used to being, he didn't have a bass player a lot.
Right.
But if you know what you're doing, you know what you're doing. So as a result of that, the church antics is just crazy. Brent, what's up, man? I'm glad you should have came on earlier. Lorraine was on here. You missed her. But
we'll have another moment.
Yeah, I'm certain of it. I'm sure of it. But what's going on, man? You all right? You made it back from the tobacco that took place today?
Yes, I did.
Well, I'm glad.
Yeah, there's a lot I want to say, but I can't.
About that.
About that. I will say this though: white people steal, and we're just gonna leave that where it's at.
Yes, they do.
And do.
And they steal. Like,
Yeah, they go for it all.
Go
I
big or
think,
go home.
yes, I think what the lesson in that today was that there is a privilege that Caucasians have that we will never know as African Americans.
Right.
Listen, that
And
thing was heavy on me today. I wanted to post it so bad. Oh my God.
they have privilege and they don't even know they have privilege.
They don't.
You know,
It's natural to them. It's natural.
It's disgusting. And the end result to what happened at work was that they approved this man for a $3,000 necklace, and LP and everybody knew that he was on some fraudulent stuff. But because of the color of his skin, hey, and you can always so we from the East Coast, right? So we from up top. We know a scammer and we know a baser. We call them basers. You know what I'm saying? Like crackheads.
Right.
If you fidgety and you doing all this extra talking and you like moving around, everything is in a rush. You look like you just did a bump of coke or you just shot up or whatever. I know the signs, like your hands are all clammy.
Right.
The air is on, but you sweating profusely. You got all of these stories and you just keep talking and talking and talking.
And leaning on stuff.
Yes. And so it's just like, you don't know you dealing with a real nigga. Like, and the thing about it is you have to, in retail, you have to keep a certain disposition. You have to stay in character. So by the time I left work, I was drained because I had been fake for the last hour and a half. I don't like just smiling, like, no, it's okay. Meanwhile, LP is on the phone telling me, oh no, we got his pictures all down here. It's definitely fraud. This and that, and this and that. Well, why y'all asses ain't come up here and arrest this motherfucker? Like, because he could have, why is he not gone?
Right.
Then the store manager came.
Because he's not black.
That's right.
Then the general
If he was black, he might have been shot.
Let me tell you something. The general store manager came and she already knew what was going on because they had to call her and give her the story. So she knew what was going on. She was just like, well, we're going to see what's going on with you. We have our people on the end, on the corporate end, and, we're just going to see. And then he started saying, I just feel like it's stuff going on. Like, y'all know what's going on, but y'all not telling me. And I wanted to say, you got 5 minutes to get out before we call the police.
Right.
Because we already know you own some scamming stuff, but I couldn't say that.
Right.
But the end result is he ended up doing a special order. Now, good for me because I get commission off of that. However,
so basically, what you're telling me is that a man that they knew was fraudulent.
Yeah.
Did not go to jail.
No.
And walked out with the merchandise.
He ordered it. It was a special order. So it'll be here in 12 weeks.
He ordered it. It'll be here in 12 weeks. But in that 12 weeks, was there any, well, you can't say, but I guess I can put it this way. Still in all, he walked out of it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Okay.
With a receipt.
With a receipt to say that he purchased. So now they can't even say that he stole it. He has a receipt that says I paid for it. Okay.
Right. But so this is the gag because it's a special order. Anytime you do special order, like anytime you come to a high-end store and we don't have something, and we have to contact the actual designer of said merchandise because they have it on their website, we have to go and do a whole form and whatnot. And so because it has to be, in stock, or we have to request it. They have to see a need for us to actually get it. So, he had his credit card or whatever that. But see, here's the thing. The reason why it flagged me, first of all, his actions. This wasn't the first time he shot with me. But the first time, I'm new at this particular location. So I'm like, I don't know the people, whatever, to give everybody the benefit of the doubt. But he's always been acting this way. But he always shops with me. So, hey, cool. Good for my commission. But today, see, here's the thing with scammers. You can't hit the same stores every day.
Mm-mm.
And you always got the same story every day. Like, and you always looking like you always in a rush. You always this, you always that. And then he started getting irate. He's like, I just feel like, I'm being discriminated against. He's like, and I know it's not against, it's nothing to you, Britt. I don't want you to make it feel, I don't want you to think that I'm yelling at you. That I said, listen, brother, I clock in and I clock out. I said, I honestly don't give a damn what you do or how much you take. That's none of my business. But what I do know is that I'm going to have all these managers sign off on this stuff. Because when it come back, I don't want my name nowhere in this mix.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I looked at my general store manager now, who I got to have some type of holy boldness. Because I looked at her and I said, you going to sign this receipt and you going to sign it now. And she looked at me and said, oh, okay. Thank you. I didn't come here to get fired because you want to steal, or not steal, but you want to scam Neiman Marcus. I mean, the thing, I'm like, and then he was trying to tell me that he had already purchased the item, that he paid for the item. And I said, no, you did not. Yes, I did. I already paid for it. No, you did not. If you paid for it, where's your receipt? No, I paid for it. Then come to find out he got us mixed up with Nordstrom. Crackhead stuff. But anyway.
You know what's funny? I work in banking, and so what I noticed is that the real nice, I mean super nice, like, Tanya, where you from? Vegas? Oh, really? And I want the real nice people, and they're very, very, very irate clients. Right? I'm not saying they're not every client's like this, but the people who are trying to scam, they're either on one spectrum or the other. They're never just like
never in between.
Never in between. They're never like, let me just get this done. I want to blah, blah, blah. Okay, thank you. It's always the extreme of the one side, the extreme of the other side. And so I don't, and I'm not fraud. I'm not a fraud agent, so I don't detect that. But I can tell when there is fraud accentuated things. You know what I mean? That I'm like, that's very interesting, because you're either very, very nice or you're very, very just off the wall.
Here's the thing, though.
You feel like you gotta rush. You're like, oh my god, I gotta hurry up and rush for you, because you're like, oh my god, I got it. This is, no, nothing on you, right? Nothing on you. You're great. You're amazing. But this bank or this transfer or this credit card or this, whatever, I can't stand. I'm like, what? You just do your job. As long as everything works out, it's not my job. Let the other people do their job. And so that's all you gotta do. You do what you do. You place the order, and the people who gotta do it in the back end, let them figure that.
Here's the thing: every time we scanned his driver's license, it showed up. The message showed up as a fraudulent activity, which means your license wasn't even real. Lord. Your license wasn't real. And then he let the cat out the bag and said, this happened to me at Nordstrom's the other day. They had to put my card, my license under the light like 5 times, and then I asked the guy, dude, did you wipe it off? He wiped it off, and then it automatically went through. No. I said, see, if you let a baser talk long enough, they're going to tell you everything you need to know. However, he still walked out with merchandise.
Well, what that tells me is I was getting ready to say that, if you go across the street, there's a gas station across the street. If I go in there and they see me take a pack of Chips Ahoy cookies, the chewy kind, deep chocolate.
Okay.
There will be a viewing.
There will be, man, when I tell you, I have never in my life seen a day where you take a stick of gum. If I unravel a pack of gum and take one stick out, I am going under the jail.
Absolutely.
In the store.
There are people who I've watched. There was a young guy in Oakland, I'll never forget. He stole like a honey bun. He's a kid. He took a honey bun. There were 13, I counted 13 cop cars out there.
How many calories did it have? No,
I don't know.
Maybe it was on the calorie count.
I think it might have had a piece of gold, something, and I was like, he took I know this honey bun was 69 cents. And y'all had 13 OPD out there.
Yeah.
3 SUV. I'm like, are y'all getting ready to kill this boy over a honey bun? But you go out here and a white man cooks bodies.
Jeffrey Dahmer.
And it takes you forever to go find this fool.
A whole llama.
You got a whole man named Charles Manson that was just slicing people up and shooting people. It took y'all. When that white boy shot up that AME church, they stopped at Wendy's for him.
And got him something to eat because he was hungry.
Because he was hungry, got him something to eat.
Know that?
Yep.
They stopped at a Wendy's and then took his cups from behind him, put them in front of him. Because he was calm.
Yeah.
Honey, but let me tell you something. Them sisters in that jail, they sure got him back, honey. They stuck everything they could up inside of him. Baby, you talking about, ooh, I was proud to be black that day.
He sounded like my mother when he got in that cell, didn't he?
Ooh, honey, them sisters told him up. You hear me? I said, ooh, you don't mess with the Frugits. Honey, they will get
the what?
The
Frugits. Honey, the Labiquita community don't play. You hear me?
Bruh.
I'm telling you, honey. They put broomsticks up in them. They put wires.
Boy, they put pipes. They let that boy.
I'm telling you. I said,
he don't even have. He just opened now. He just.
It's amazing to me that you said that this guy came in with fraudulent activity, with fraudulent forms of payment.
From the
gate, and he still walked out.
He walked out unscathed, and actually with a bottle of champagne, Moet to be exact.
That is the picture of white privilege.
He was drinking.
That was a cherry on top.
Like he didn't do anything.
He bought it from the machine. The store paid for it.
You know what? Kevin and I were in Merced. We were in Merced, and we went to Ross. I had to go find something quick for something. I forgot what it was. And there was somebody in there doing some shopping and shouldn't have been. And taking stuff. And they let him walk out. Here's the thing.
He walked out.
The workers. And I'm looking at the people. They're like, we're all watching him walk out. And he's like almost across the street at this point. And I was like, you guys are not going to get in there. Like, no, the police are on their way. I'm like, by the time they get here, by the time
he going to be in Vegas by the time they get there.
And by this time when we were saying that, he was already close
across the street. Exactly. Across the street.
And I'm like, to do like
we pulled out and made a right and passed him across the street when we were leaving.
Yeah,
they never got that kid.
And let me be clear, he wasn't walking fast. Okay.
No.
And so I was concerned, and I'm not sure if this is the same thing that you guys have to deal with, Brent, aka Harriet. Are you guys just not supposed to fight back and just let the law do? I mean, because I was like,
but that wasn't that kind of situation. What we saw, that was one where you got to stop people. Like, I mean, because he didn't take anything. He ordered something. No, he ordered something. So ordering something and going in a retail store and pulling it out is two different things. But the thing with him, he walked out, and then when he walked out, I looked at the lady and said, has he done this before? She said, yeah, he's done this before. And he's out doing it again. But wait. Everybody hold on. Everybody relax. Watch this. He was white. Now, if I had gone in there with my 270-pound self and took one of the pens from the register that they used to write off, canceled or whatever, they would have had, and Merced is very small, they'd have had that whole police department. I'm talking about from the top to bottom. They would have been in front of that store. I'd have been barricaded. There would have been no way. And I think, Brent, what you just let me know was that there has to be levels when it comes to white people. But when it comes to black people, there is no level. If you took what don't belong to you, I don't care how small it is. I say it all the time. If you in a bank and I steal 10 cents and you steal $10,000, should I do the same amount of time that you do?
Absolutely.
And the reason for that is what? Because I
'Cause you
took
stole.
money that didn't belong to them.
You stole.
Theft is theft.
Whether you want to look at it another way or not. But when you turn around and you decide that you're going to, you this color, I ain't got a paper around me, but you that color, and then you could just walk up and then have full conversations, you tweaking, and still got a bottle of Moet, and you still walk the, and they still are going to get what you ordered, even though it was on fraudulent terms. Well, that explains it. That's why we have a president or a candidate for president that's been convicted over 35 times. And look what he's doing. He's running for president.
You know, I think Donald Trump is a joke. That's just me. I don't think he is serious at all, honestly. I think Donald Trump really is just sitting back laughing. And I think him and some of his billionaire friends have a bet going on to see if he can win again. And because I don't there's no possible way that he is really being serious. And then or two, he reached a pinnacle point in his life where there was nothing else he could do other than just run for presidency. Like he was a billionaire. I think Donald Trump was bored. I think that is why he ran. He was literally bored and had nothing else to do and had the right backing and the right people to go ahead and get him in the office, because there are more, what's scary is that there are more people out here like him, all technically identical, but you know, they now have a voice when at the end of the day, that man ain't taking this serious. Like that's why he still posts all kind of stuff on Twitter and on social media and all that kind of stuff. And he can call women out their names and, you know, say different things. And, you know, any candidate that goes up against him or whatever, that he calls him out of their name and picks at them and all that kind of stuff. That I think America has, at one point in time, we did have some type of class and dignity. But what it says to me now, America, honey, you can grow up in a trailer park and rule this land. You can have 15 babies from your first cousin and still run for president. You can be a bigot, you could be a racist, you could be whatever you. This is literally Donald Trump is the prime example of
he's a poster child.
Land of the free, home of the brave.
Yeah. He's a poster child.
Because there is no way. He is illiterate. He is stupid. He has a great business mindset, but
no, he doesn't.
Does not know how to run business.
He don't have a good business mindset either.
Okay.
Let me talk about the failed casinos that are right here.
I'm about to say all the bankruptcies this man done had and all that stuff that done went down, man. Especially,
but he had the sense enough to know how to get it. And how
absolutely. Let's not dismiss that. Let's not
get it and sustain it is two different things, though.
Because you ain't got to be able to keep it. You just got to know how to get it.
You got to know how to get it. You can find somebody else to keep it.
As long as you know how to get it. Right. Oh, you're the most powerful person out there.
Well, Brent, this is what we talked about before. We were talking about, you know, and I'm going to have one of these segments. I'm going to have somebody on here that really deals with this. But you know, the whole bankruptcy thing, right? It's like, you know how many millionaires have filed for bankruptcy? Mm-hmm. Tracy, that's what we were talking about before. It's like to file for bankruptcy. Here's the thing. This is why America is so screwed up. If you're filing for bankruptcy, it actually costs you more to file bankruptcy than it does to fix why you need the money in the first place.
That's crazy.
So because they're going to settle for like 65% of what you owe.
65 to 70. You're right. You're right. Mm-hmm. But with that, you have to pay a certain amount of money. You have to pay court fees. You have to pay filing fees. You
Filing
gotta pay
fees.
all that stuff to file for. You better off just winging it out and making it happen. Because
Man,
you to file for bankruptcy, you have to have more money than you would if you just sat there and just tried to work it out and just cut some
Take
stuff
that
off
money
and
and
do
pay
whatever.
them bills.
Yeah,
yeah.
because and we talked about church antics before, but people are so business illiterate, and they don't understand that. I had a friend back in California. He paid his taxes, and this is what people don't. That's why I gotta have this information is so important because I study like insurance and stuff like that. This guy doesn't understand that when you get a large sum back from taxes, when they say, "Oh, I got this money back from my taxes that they gave me $4,000 or whatever," let me tell you what you did for the whole fiscal year. You overpaid.
Yes, exactly right.
That's why they're giving you that money back because you overpaid.
Yeah.
When you don't
Income tax.
Yeah.
right, income tax, you overpaid. So when I filed my taxes one year in California, I was living in Orange County. I filed my taxes. They owed me $1 back. $1 and I rounded it off, so it was $1. And it cost them more to send the check than what the check was.
Yes.
The check was $1. I was like, I don't even want to put this in my bank because it's an insult. But it let me know that I never overpaid. All things were considered to be, I was free and clear, But when you get a large sum, you overpaid. So all those taxes and everything that you're paying, you not only overpaid, but now thinking that you can take this money and you go spend it on a whole bunch of stupid stuff. You buying clothes and you buying all stuff. And I know I'm talking about California. I used to live there collectively for 18 years. I know about this place. What I know about a lot of people in California is they are always busy trying to keep up with trends and to be recognized. And, I want people to see me or whatever. But they living with their mamas.
That's stupid.
And they roommate. I remember when I first moved to Cali, everybody was like, "Kevin, come to California. Oh man, Kevin gonna have a good time in California, whatever. You could do this and you could do that, all this stuff, shining the light bright on all things that shine. All the, foil reflects light too, right? You do know that.
Yes,
So
yes.
you point the light at foil, that reflects too. And I got over here I went to San Bernardino first. I was learning. I didn't know that was, Death Valley. I didn't know. But I got over there. But then when I moved to Orange County, I was closer to Los Angeles and Compton, and all of those places. And I was looking around, and I'm watching all these people. Compton has some beautiful places, but more than likely, if you say you live in Compton, you probably ain't gonna get a lot of visitors. Probably.
And that's what I don't understand because I want to go to Compton so bad.
You could go.
And Watts, Inglewood.
Go ahead. I've been to all of them. Go ahead.
That's where our history is for a number of things. I mean, let's be honest. You go right over there to Watts, and one of the highest selling gospel album that went, what was it, triple platinum?
Mm-hmm.
By the Queen of Soul herself, recorded right there in Watts.
That happened right over there. That's right. And James Cleveland was all up and down there, so we're not even going to talk about that. But it's listen, it's cool to go. As far as staying, I wouldn't encourage it. But
that part,
if you go over there,
I lived there all my life. Lived in Long Beach, California, all my life. No.
It's to be desired. But Brent, it's like everywhere else. It's like everywhere else. It's like
the South Side of Chicago.
It's like everywhere else. It's like Newark all day.
It's like Camden.
It's like certain parts of Brook. It's basically Camden is probably the closest thing to Compton you gonna get.
And Camden has been so gentrified now you can't even identify it almost anymore. But
what you mean? People moving out?
So what they did was, and I respected them for doing this because Camden was bad.
Yo, the cops were the criminals. Like, I mean,
the cops was and then those that weren't criminals were scared of Camden. But what they ended up doing was they defunded the police and made all of them reapply for their jobs. And half of the people that were cops no longer are
no longer cops.
Yeah,
but see, that's what happened in Patterson. They got rid of cops, but now the cops.
But see,
the ones...
they didn't defund the police in Patterson.
No.
That was
They
the problem.
They didn't.
That was the
they
problem.
Didn't.
If
they
they
let
had
them
done
stay.
that, right, things might have changed. But because Camden did that, and I mean, when I say you go to certain, like down by where the aquarium is, remember how it used to just like the aquarium was there and then everything else was around it was like, oh my God, I don't want to get out of the car. Now that whole waterfront is amazing.
Wow.
Built hotels.
So where did these
down
people
there.
move to now? Where they at? Like Delaware and Dover?
That's the problem. They pushed them out into Atlantic City, into Delaware, into other parts of southern Jersey, but like out in the country.
Like Williamstown and Pleasanton and not Pleasanton, Pleasantville.
And Willingboro.
And Mount Laurel and
Vineland and
Right. Well, you know, the bottom line is this. I got that picture. The bottom line is this. We have to understand that, you know, and Brent, you came on and once again shifted this whole thing. The white privilege situation.
He's a shifter.
We have to understand, and if I could say this way, I've been in situations, even in Nashville, I dealt with the police, and I'll be honest with you, they could have really been like, hey, because where I had to go was like 40 miles up the street, and they could have been like, when we get by this tree, just let him have it. You know, they could have been like, yo, you know, they were nice. Now, here's what I'm gonna say. I fear for my son a lot of times because he's a young guy in the South, and he's in an area where Confederate flags are job one, like for real. And so many black folk live in Nashville now. It was kind of us when I was there, but it's, you know, because people from Chicago moved to Nashville, people from Hollywood moved to Nashville. You know, people from, you know, you already have Alabama and those surrounding states like Alabama and Carolina, and St. Louis is like 4 hours away. But a lot of them people move there, and the privileged folk ain't happy. They're not happy at all. They are ready to slap cuffs or, you know, put a bullet in anybody that comes against their culture. And so, you know, when I hear about what happened to Brent, when I'm looking at the stuff that I see out here, I'm just like, you know, at this particular point, let's be clear about the whole matter. We ain't free here. We can just move around a lot more, but we're not free here. You know, the only difference now is that we ain't scared of y'all. See, back in the 50s and 60s, when they had the hoses and they had, you know, they were shooting people, you had the dogs on them. Hell, we got dogs now. You got a gun, we got guns. You water hose, shoot. You was right. We turned the fire hydrant on to have a good time where I'm from. But I don't know what y'all talking about. We ain't scared of no hoses. You know what I'm saying? But this will not be a regular we shall overcome movement. Like, it's not going to be that way. Especially if you got black people out here that's working their tails off to keep these expensive behind lights on. And you think you just going to come up in my house and ruin, you know, they're not. It's not that way. You know, this is a Malcolm X era. It's not Martin Luther King. I'm sorry.
No, King is dead. It's all about Malcolm X and them Black Panthers. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. In Jersey, in Patterson, Brent, they got a crew that used to be out. Don't know if they're there now. You might know them. They were called the Guardian Angels. But a lot of these dudes was Puerto Rican.
Oh yeah, I've heard of them.
I couldn't understand that. I was like, well, why ain't none of us on there? But the Puerto Ricans was like, we the Guardian Angels, but they were still standing for their race. You know, they were supposed to be guardian angels, like guarding the city and guarding the different streets or whatever. But, you know, they really came to your rescue when your last name was Rodriguez. They were right there. You know what I'm saying?
You brought up a point about you alluded to the fact of like the church and stuff. I think that if church taught more, so the church scientifically is the most influential entity in any neighborhood. right?
Right.
So I think if they offered more education on finances or voting or just other things that are actually going on in the world, especially the minority church, we would be at so much more of an advantage, you know. But we so focused on speaking in tongues, praying, and delivering people until you forget when you come out of the spirit, you got a real world you got to live in.
That's all I've been saying.
Yeah, and it's a self mentality. Like they want to be able to speak in tongues. I'm the one who spoke in tongues. I'm the one who interpreted. You know what I mean? So it's a self mentality. So it just you're right. So a person who's trying to be delivered is almost banking on someone else's self glory.
Right.
You know.
You can't even go to a lot of places outside of church and use some of the lingo that you do. And what I find is that, you know, there are so many unbalanced church people, Christians.
Yeah.
I don't know what do you want to call them. You know, everything got to be so deep and spooky and so mystical and just so whatever. You know, you can't even. It's one at my job. I'm like, oh, good morning, how you doing? Oh, I'm blessed and highly favored. Bitch, just say you doing good. Like,
Mm-hmm.
praise the Lord.
Why we so
I'd be so aggravated. Like, what? Come on, are you dumb? Like, come on.
Tracy left it. Go there.
It's like, save all of that. Just say, you know, but see, that's the thing. You know,
I'm gonna walk in the morning and I'm gonna say that.
And you saying this to people who don't understand that. That's the part.
Oh yeah, I'm gonna say to people that don't understand it. I really am.
Most of my coworkers are Jewish. They don't know what blessed and highly favored is. Like, what?
At all.
Girl, shut the hell up. Like, nobody knows.
Mine are atheists.
Like, you are right.
And there you go. And there you go.
And then there's that.
And devil worshippers. So yeah.
There was this one, I played this joke on this one person one time. They was like, oh, try to lay hands on me and talk about, oh, we praying for you or something. It was like praying for me. And so I said, you know what, I'm gonna make a joke out of this. So then I just said, we comfortable. And so my mother was so pissed at me. She's like, have you lost your mind? I was like, we comfortable.
And even the blessed and highly favored thing, I'm like, y'all got to be careful. That Mary, you're blessed and highly favored. Yeah, you know what the hell Mary had to go through?
No, they
carrying that baby. First of all, she had to explain that she was pregnant and they never had sex with a man.
Right.
Then on top of that,
I wouldn't have believed it.
You got to deal with the ridicule of, oh, you really carrying the Messiah? Oh,
right.
He's really the Savior. He came to save her. Y'all talk about blessed and highly favored. Y'all don't know what that means.
Not a clue.
You're right about it.
Listen, I've been yelling at people all week about using stuff out of context. I don't know if y'all saw the soundbite with Pastor Donnie, where people were going off on him because he said, you got to be careful when you say my words have power. Yeah, words are powerful, but your words are not the ultimate. God's word is the ultimate.
Exactly.
Right.
And I mean, but again, we've been so churchified, so black churchified that we walk around, we just start saying stuff. I'm like, that's why naming and claiming it doesn't make sense. Yeah, you can ask anything in my name and I will give it to you if you deserve it. But understand that God was talking to a specific people about a specific thing.
And what a lot of people did not agree with me with, but every time somebody like you just said, if you ask in my name, I will give it to you. If
you, I will.
If
so everything that God speaks comes with a condition.
That's right.
If. And as Overton from Living Single will say, and if was a fifth, we'd all be drunk.
Right.
If is a very, very big word.
It is a condition. It's a condition. It
if
said,
my people
if
who are
my
called
people,
by my name.
He said, if, then will I hear from him.
Mm-hmm.
But there's a number of things that you got to do. If my people who are called by my name will humble themselves, who's walking around in humility these days?
And nobody.
And pray.
And turn from their wicked ways and seek my face.
Turn from
Mm-hmm.
Then will I hear from
heaven.
But I got to hear from heaven first. I'm not just gonna do it.
No,
I gotta hear from heaven because God got to say it's okay. Okay, good. Now we good. Then
it's
I will
a condition,
and
then
I will heal your land.
It's a condition.
It's a condition. It
People
is
just
a
don't get
condition.
it.
I do not understand why
we
people
get
are
it,
so
Kevin.
willing to find. No, I'm gonna talk just like you did. But it's literally like when you get to that place where you pay attention to the condition. It said, "If my people." It said, when it turned around, choose ye this day whom you will serve. It comes with a condition because if you don't choose, I will turn you over.
That part.
And that's what we're
and that's
witnessing.
why some of us are living where we're living.
Witnessing the turnover.
Yeah.
Right.
The turnover.
Exactly.
Because you what you keep getting in the way of is the fact that you keep trying to make the Bible fit you when you should be fitting the Bible.
That's right.
You keep trying to tell God what your plans are when you don't need to say anything. And if you remember that movie Bruce Almighty, when Jim Carrey told Morgan Freeman, he was like, I mean, those are my plans. Morgan Freeman looked at him and said, your plans. In other words, there's nothing that you can think of that I haven't already thought of. Mm-hmm. So what I'm letting you know is that the only way that you are going to get what it says, trust in the Lord with all my heart and lean not to your understanding. In all thy ways acknowledge them and he will direct your path. So the condition is if you don't acknowledge him, he ain't leading you nowhere. There's a condition. I don't know what people's problem is, and I think that's the reason why I have a problem with a lot of these pastors and these ministers of music and all this other stuff, because, and like Brent was just talking about, people just, I know what to say to get people to do a praise break. And 9 out of 10 times, if it's said that way, they're going to do it with no problem, especially in one city. I won't call it, but just,
what to say and what to play.
What to say and what to play. If we play a certain thing, they lose their mind. But the reality of it is, at the end of the day, it's just jargon and it's practice behavior.
That's right. It's triggering.
There's nothing spiritual about it. It's nothing spiritual about it.
No.
There's nothing spiritual about it. There's nothing spiritual about me going, and y'all, screaming for?
I saw an organ player once. The church was not moving. They weren't shouting fast enough. He leaned over and said, and everybody went in.
I believe it. I believe it.
I'm not lying. I was like, that was dead wrong.
But you're looking at
for.
These are the acrobatics, though. These are the things that we're programmed. It's programmed. Like that stuff ain't real. It's fake. Ain't nothing real about that. It's fake. All of it's fake.
Canceled before it's even syndicated. Clearly.
If we go, well, he is in control. What? And I mean, he is.
Did you ever watch? Y'all know Mother Stacks was John Witherspoon's sister.
Yeah.
Did you ever watch the video with him talking about her?
When he talked about her,
he said, "Baba Kappa." He said she rolled around on the floor. Her breast fell out of her bra. He said, then she come up with the bra that's got the pin up on the side.
Oh no,
oh Lord!
I gotta watch that. And I know I'm gonna be on the floor.
Oh God!
Kept her humble.
Everybody didn't know who he was talking about, but of course, those of us in church are like, "Yo, that's Mother Stacks."
He kept her humble. He always.
Kept her humble.
He always would tell, "Shut up, you old bitch." Like it was just like, this is Mother Church.
Oh my God!
Like he would always say stuff to her. And I actually had the pleasure of being around Mother Stacks a lot. And so we talked about stuff like that. And she's like, yeah, he going to hell, but he enjoying himself while he going there.
Let's flip this real quick. Let me ask y'all a question. What do you think the world would be like right now if we still had Red Fox, Richard Pryor, John Witherspoon? God, it hurt my heart. John Witherspoon, Charlie Murphy, Moms Mabley, Flip Wilson,
Robin Harris,
Robin Williams. Like, what do you think? I think
Robin.
if those people were around right now in their prime, right now, like let's just say
the
they were in their prime
comedy.
now.
Oh
Let me
my!
tell you something. I
You know
really
who I
don't.
want at the helm of it all, though? Della Reese.
Yeah, well,
When you walk down the road.
Hey, Brent, the comedy nowadays is cool, but I think that they were so much more sharp back in the day when Esther and Fred Sanford used to go at it, and those outtakes that they had, I was like, you gotta be real friends to insult each other like that, and
Honey, my
still...
body was blessed by Mother Nature, and your face was cursed by Father Time.
But again, they studied the craft of word manipulation.
Right.
We didn't know as children. We just thought it sounded funny, so we were laughing. But when we got older, it was like, yo, them niggas was really raunchy.
Right.
Oh my God.
Mm-hmm.
It was like an art, and I think we've lost.
Especially that Moms Mabley. Moms Mabley was raw.
Yo, Moms Mabley, and you know who else? He wasn't even trying to be funny. He was being himself, and that was Rudy Ray Moore. That dude,
yes,
it was just the way he talked. It was just the way he talked.
And you know what? And another one for the white side, Rodney Dangerfield.
Rodney Dangerfield was an idiot. Joe Piscopo was crazy. An idiot. Yeah, they were
Joe
all
Piscopo
crazy.
was nuts.
Yeah,
and
when him and Eddie Murphy was when Joe Piscopo and Eddie Murphy were together, that Ebony and I, oh my God, I still remember that.
It's gold.
But even listen, I listen to I like going back and watching the golden era for me for black comedy for the young ones was the 90s with In Living Color.
Yeah,
Keenan Ivory Wayans, the way he empowered, and it wasn't just black people. The way he empowered the art of comedy.
Right.
It was just amazing. And now you go back and you look at the Jim Carrey. Like Jim Carrey has always been funny.
Right.
Period. He's always been funny. Jamie Foxx, the giftedness between his comedy and his music that came out because of In Living Color. Like you don't have anybody setting stages and platforms like that anymore. And I think that's part of the problem. Nobody is humble enough to say, I don't have to be the one out there in front all the time. I see somebody else. Let me push them.
Right. I think that's the funny thing. It's like, you know, we lived in those times where it was so cool to be an individual. You can be an individual and still be put with the best of them, and you had your moment. Like in music, you knew when it was certain people. You know, you had Phil Perry and Luther Vandross out at the same time, but you knew who each one of them was.
You had Luther singing background.
Yeah. Well, I mean,
you had Sissy singing background for Aretha,
right?
With a Grammy already,
right? And here's the thing: that was just at a time when it was easy to identify. I don't think social media doesn't do anything other than what we tell it to do. It does nothing. When people say, "Oh, it's social media," no, it's niggas on social media. Social media is minding their business.
Not the culprit.
They can't post nothing you don't post. They don't put anything up.
Exactly.
If you don't post anything, they're not gonna be like, let me go, even though they probably can, but let me go inside Tanya's, photo grid, or let me go inside her photos and I'm gonna just post a picture. They don't do that kind of stuff.
Right.
It's what we put up there. It's just men say, man, she got pregnant on purpose. Nigga, she would have never gotten pregnant if you didn't lay down with her and do what y'all did here.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? So we got to stop blaming social media for a lot of the mishaps that go on. And, like I said, identifiably, we were identified by some great people back in those days. Comedy was just, like Tommy, she laughs at me all the time, but you know, I'm sorry. Eddie Murphy is the greatest.
No,
he's the
Charlie
greatest.
Murphy.
Charlie was funny. I get it. But Eddie
and Charlie wrote a lot of his jokes.
No, the thing I be telling Kevin is to put him back. Like Kevin be trying to beat him while we.
No, I don't be trying to beat him. It's just I've spent so much time watching him, and he is very influential.
You can't be mad at the. I mean, just think about it. Coming to America. Think about Harlem
I'm not mad at
Nights.
it. I just don't want him on a date with us.
The greatness of that. I mean, even think back to Martin.
I don't want to kiss him.
But think about Martin.
You already
Martin, his comedic genius. I can't.
You already did. You already have.
See, send him back, man. Send him back. Send him back.
Hey, one time she was saying, I forgot what she was saying.
That's it.
Yo, if you ever see Eddie Murphy do that, you talk about, oh, this is what he said. He said he was playing Mr. Robinson.
Mm-hmm.
And he said, well, I sat up here and I came home and all my money was gone. Then I looked at my wife. She had on a new dress. You want to see that dress now, boys and girls?
That voice right there.
He said, this is the dress she had. You see the footprint on it? He said, I didn't take it off to do that. I couldn't get it together. It was right in the middle of her chest. He said, I didn't take it off to do that.
It's not even that funny.
Yes,
it is.
It's a laugh.
He kicked her in her chest.
He kicked her right.
And still got the dress.
Dress and all.
Right.
Hey man, when I first saw that,
I date
it had this big Timberland print in the middle of that tree. He said, you see this dress, boy? See the footprint, boys and girls? I ain't taking off to do that either.
Knocked her dead in her chest.
Oh my God.
Great comedy. Great
Well,
comedy.
a sister is tired. I gotta get up in the morning.
Me too.
You gotta get up late. You gotta get up late. You gotta get up late.
All right.
Shut up, Kevin. I gotta get up in the morning.
No, you gotta get up at 5 and you can go back to bed till about 8.
I mean, I better go back to bed.
I'm
gonna keep
on to
listening
see
though.
if Brent is giving the benediction.
Oh yeah, go
Brent,
ahead.
you came on late. You gotta be the first to say yes.
I don't have nothing tonight.
Oh, yes, you do.
Oh, yes, you do.
Anybody a hoe?
Ain't nobody a hoe.
Okay, well, first
Except for that white man that walked out of your store.
Right.
Brent, he ain't a hoe. What is it?
A whole boat.
a stealing hoe.
He a low class hoe.
He's a steal mill.
He just a hoe. He just a great American. He just a hoe. He a hoe. That's a hoe.
Yo, y'all saw that video I sent of Albertina Walker, right?
Yes.
Bruh.
So this nigga woman said I hit her car. Nigga woman.
Your
mama.
Bonnie, did you see that?
I did. He's so crazy. I did.
And they think I'm sugar, they salute.
And you know who was at the interview? Bobby Jones was on the other side of that camera. They said he couldn't even keep his eyes open. He was laughing so hard.
Hey, you're really good at imitating him too, and I don't want to date him.
Oh my
You don't
God.
want to date who? You don't want to date
Bobby
Bobby
Jones.
Jones.
Been around.
You don't want to date him.
You wait a minute, Tracy. Here we go. And the Nashville Super Case.
Oh,
Good night, Kevin. I love y'all.
Oh yeah.
Oh my God.
Welcome to Bobby Jones Gospel.
Baby, stop. I gotta go.
Like him.
It's the guest bed.
Hey man, we went to Italy one time. I went knocking on everybody's door, and every time I knock on the door, hello, Bobby Jones. Hello, this is Bobby Jones.
Maybe you answer the phone that way too.
It's time to wake up. Welcome to Bobby Jones Gospel Explosion with the Nashville Super Case.
I'm gonna keep listening. I'll talk to y'all later.
Today we have Scott Cumberbatch,
That.
Brett
I
Brown,
love you, Tracy.
Love
Tracy
you too,
Nibbler,
Miss Tanya.
and all the way from Las Vegas, Nevada, Miss Tanya Brown.
Bye, y'all. Y'all so crazy.
Ladies
There's
and
only
gentlemen.
one Bobby Jones. There's only
Yes.
Yeah.
I miss Barbara.
one.
But anyway.
Yes, Lord.
Man. All right, Brent,
Not
take us out.
Barbara.
Well, how you gonna come back? How you gonna come back? I would like everybody to know tonight that Brother Dev Lee and
Barbara.
Dane. Hey, Scott, Brother Dev
Huh?
Lee and Dane. Boy, y'all just kill me.
Oh man.
So Tanya Brown, what is it about gospel music that makes you come back? What is it about gospel?
Gospel.
What is about gospel? Tracy, how long? Do y'all know Tracy plays bass guitar?
We know.
I heard that bass guitar.
Yeah.
Listen, Scott. I heard that bass guitar and said, "Ooh, that is a lady playing bass guitar."
He loves it. Look at him.
Oh,
Ladies
man.
and gentlemen, this is
Babe.
Dr. Bobby Jones from Nashville Super Podcast. I did that to Snoop and him. I said, on bass guitar, Mr. Snoop out. Brother Brand, it's good to see you, Brother Brand.
That is horrible.
That's how you sound, man. It's so weird.
Just like him.
Yes, I've been around a long time. All right. Brother Brent Brown, you have anything before we go off on our show tonight?
No, I don't really have anything to say, but we do have a very pivotal point. Sorry I'm late. I had a lot of something to do. But we can close out the show like this. It was a lot going on today in my world, but it is an exciting time for gospel music.
Why?
And because in just a few days, we finally get to see who one of Denise Clark's baby daddies is.
Well,
what? Wait.
We are not doing that.
Wait.
Okay, you guys, you have a great night.
Wait. I can't press the button.
Our hearts are truly burned. Our hearts are
Wait
truly
a minute.
burned.
Why are you still here? I thought you were. What are you still doing it? Why are you still
As long
here?
as I see Tracy, I'm still here.
Like that, Brent. I never looked at it like that.
We
Did you say
finally get to see
Denise's
which
baby?
one raped
Wait a
her.
minute, Brent. We gotta go. What are you talking about?
You know her. This
She
is her
lost.
second son that
I was
passed
about to
away.
say she lost another son.
Within like a year time frame.
Something like that.
son.
Less than a year.
Less than a year. So like 6
He
months.
died?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sorry.
We finally get to see who one of her baby daddies is.
Because she
at the funeral.
There's multiple.
At the funeral.
But
and she has what, 7 kids?
They do
was
not
5
want that
boys.
lady to talk though, because when I tell
Not
you
at
she will
all.
sit down and spook everybody.
Everybody.
Yes, she will.
She will tell. They trying to. They
She'll shut it all down.
They treating her like Diddy did Jamie Foxx. He get ready to talk. Feed him something. Because that's that man. If that lady opens her mouth,
it's
a lot of people in trouble. A lot of people in trouble.
She said at least she kept all of her kids.
That's exactly what she
That's
said.
exactly what she said.
That is exactly what she said.
Oh boy.
I wonder what happened to never mind. Let me shut up. Because
Everybody quiet.
Yeah, that's why I was like,
go to bed.
Oh shoot. But yeah, because wasn't there a time when
All right. So y'all have a good
in the live. In the live.
Yeah.
Our hearts are truly burned.
We appreciate y'all. Thank you so much. Well, Sister Lorraine Stansel, thank you for coming on. Brent missed you. He'll catch you next time.
I definitely
will. And we maybe I'll sign off tonight. And I'll just do it this way. Thank you for joining us on the National Sleep Podcast. Opportunity to thank you all for joining our live tonight. We've had Brother Scott Cumberbatch, Tracy Nibbler, Britt Brown, KJ Stansel, and the phenomenal Miss Tanya Brown. All right. And if you decide to come back, just sit back, relax. And after this, we'll be right.
Thank you guys for joining us tonight on Gospel Pedophiles.
Oh no! Goodbye. Bye. Bye.
Not me.
I can't turn it off.